because then they caught up with me. So oftentimes, it's not actually the hardcore players that are having different problems. It's the hardcore players that are experiencing the problems first. And that's why it's important to bring in serious people.
Or Path of Exile 2, given what Jonathan has said. However, in addition to being selected for...
Another example, sorry. In the Diablo 4 beta, who was it that found out
Oh
that
my
Whirlwind
god.
Barbarian was the most disgusting build? Well, that would be Rob. Rob figured that out. And he was right. He was right completely. And everybody is going to say, everybody might say, oh, well, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Like, oh, yeah, but he's a super serious player. You'll hit 100 eventually. You will get Gore's Gauntlets eventually. You'll get all these legendaries eventually. And when you do, you will run into the same situation that he ran to in 1 week whenever you do it in 2 months. That's a mining canary. That's what I'm saying.
Playtime, this question was asked as well. Can I pay to get into the beta? And they answered, yes. The new set of supporter packs released simultaneously with the beta will all grant access.
Yeah, sure.
In addition, we will likely invite players with significant previous support immediately without the need for a purchase. We define this as a purchase of any top tier pack, 440 or above, for people whose lifetime purchases combined to $500 or more.
Well, I'm getting invited.
For everyone who supports it,
What?
thank you. You make expansions like this possible. And then they actually have the possibility to see your lifetime purchases to see if you
I don't
want to
look at that.
I'm curious. I might have to check my account and see if I do meet
I
that.
bought one of the big supporter packs this this league, and so yeah, I do it. Oh, this isn't so bad. Okay, yeah, I can show you guys this. This isn't. Yeah, wow. Every account transaction that I have ever done on Path of Exile. Here we go. So the Sandwraith Assassin supporter pack, I got this on the beginning of the league. I got these other packs as well. And then in 2018, I got 200 point packs. Apparently a lot of these, I don't know why I got a lot of them on the same day. August 28th, 2017, March 8th, 2017, and then early access pack, June 30th, 2012 at 2:47 in the morning. And look at the other time, like 5 in the morning. I'm sure I woke up early, right, guys? Oh, absolutely. Yeah, this is just normal.
Same $500 threshold. But for people who are truly interested in Path of Exile 2 and are avid in PoE 1, well, guess what? It looks like you will actually be able to be playing Path of Exile 1 sequel without spending a tremendous amount of money, which is something that I actually didn't think was going to be possible until I actually read this FAQ. That's exciting stuff. We also have this question down here with the console folks. Will there be a beta for the Xbox One version at the same time? Yes, though we aren't ready to announce the beta yet. So given that, of course, Jonathan recently said that.
Oh my god!
Extremely happy about what Path of Exile 2 will offer. I also believe that there will be a significant beta for PlayStation and Xbox players that coincides with
Great, that's good. I'm a big crossplay fan. I love crossplay.
the PC version, which is super, super cool. Okay, other than that, I don't think there's anything else that is of note in this FAQ.
Sure.
And we can instead move to 1, how long the beta will last, and 2, what will actually be in the content of the beta itself.
I hate these guys,
now,
bro.
Jonathan actually answered the first question right here in this thread, but I'd like to elaborate on it a little bit. Kyogen asked, will the beta continue until launch? Will only be open for a set period of time. He also elaborates and says, when the closed beta opens in July, and it's actually June 7th, will it stay open from then on up until the release of QE2? Or will it be open for, say, a month, then close and open again later, or some other similar schedule? Jonathan responds and says it will continue until launch.
Holy shit. Wow. That's nuts. So it's like a WoW beta, kind of.
Morant follows up and says, as a follow-up to this, is there a predictive launch time? Not a date, but a general time frame. 6 months after open beta? a year longer? Unanswerable. I'm stoked to get into this, beta or otherwise. Jonathan also says here, I don't know exactly. I should hope it wouldn't need to be as long as a year. 6 months sounds more like it, but we will see. Okay, me talking now. This means
I don't know, man. Like, if they could, dude, if they, so that means it would come out in Christmas next year. That's fucking insane.
Everyone, they are going to be doing a long beta. Now this isn't.
This looks
similar to
fucking
what we see
terrible. I can tell inside of 5 seconds. You can pay me to play this game.
other companies doing.
Right.
I'm going to use Diablo 4
I'm sorry.
as an
Yeah, I know you want to use Diablo 4 as an example because Diablo 4 is one of the worst games ever made. And that's the game that you want to use as an example.
example here. Diablo 4 had 2 open betas.
Diablo 4 was one of the most horrible games ever made, and that's the game you want to use as an example. When you open your mouth and say Diablo 4, I hear blah, 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 blah. If you say Diablo 3, I'm like, okay. If you say Diablo 4, I'm like, Diablo 4? What? Oh, the game I never bought? I don't care about?
Yes, it might have
Well,
had
the problem with Diablo 4 is that a lot of
The problem with Diablo 4 is it's not fun. It's not 3D. It's an isometric piece of shit ripoff. Lost Ark was better. If you like isometric, you should go back to 1993.
big companies don't use betas as tools to learn. They use them as marketing devices.
Yeah, isometric is a marketing device. If you pay for isometric in 2023, you fell for the marketing ploy.
So the Diablo 4 beta was a marketing device.
Yes, anything isometric is a marketing ploy. If you fell for it in 2023, you're a fucking idiot.
And it was presented as such.
Yeah, hey, we can't even evolve our games to be 3D camera like Divinity Original Sin 2 or the game of the year last year, last year, Baldur's Gate 3. No 3D camera, no spinning of the camera.
That's why everything happened in that way with the Diablo 3 beta.
Yeah, Diablo 3, Diablo 4, same game, same exact game, same exact 2D bullshit.
Diablo 4 beta.
third stress test weekend as well. But I know for sure it had 2 open beta weekends. And those betas were not to test the game truly. Those betas were for publicity. They were trying to get people inside the game so they could make those awesome infographics about 2 million players earned the dog backpack in Diablo 4's first.
Well, which was fun. I mean, to be fair, the beta for Diablo 4 was actually pretty fun. I enjoyed it. It's not like
I did not buy the game.
It's a bad thing. It's just
and it's not like I want to be, all like, oh, I'm against everything. Oh, I don't like you just because you sit on the opposite side. I'm just telling you what my own tastes and my own fucking beliefs are. I don't believe in Diablo 4. I don't believe in Throne of Liberty. I don't believe in like a lot of modern games.
Simply that, it wasn't really, the purpose was not, it was not for people to understand the game.
The asteroid is
Open
depleted.
beta weekend,
Blizzard
and
to
this
understand
many
the game.
people killed Ashaba and so on and so forth, right?
It's a marketing
they were really
device.
seeking to hype up the game and get as many people to pre-purchase the game as possible,
Right.
so that June release would be absolutely massive. And it was. It worked. It
Yeah.
was the largest release in Blizzard history. However,
Is that true? I thought Diablo 4, I thought...
Ha! Nope. The biggest release in Blizzard history. Classic.
Diablo 3 sold more. I could be wrong, though.
the game
Sold
launched
more,
with
yeah.
bugs,
Idiots,
lots of
Wow.
idiots bought
missing-
Diablo 3 and Diablo 4, and if they hadn't seen Sacred 2 or any of those console ARPGs, like, I don't know, what's a good example? Diablo 3, I don't know. It's the best example. But then they re-released Diablo 3 as Diablo 4. Name a difference between 3 and 4. There's better systems than 4.
Stuff obviously wasn't thoroughly tested. Balance was a mess. They were just shooting themselves in the foot, really, with this massive launch because they were not truly prepared. Grinding
Well, the problem with Diablo 4 at release had nothing to do with balance.
Yes, it did.
It's just that there wasn't a lot of stuff to do in the game.
Yep.
That was the problem.
That too.
Like, most people play Diablo 4 and Diablo 3 solo. So, like, balance wasn't really that big of a deal. Like, balance becomes a big problem whenever you have, like, either massive fucking disparities or you have something that's just, like, not fun to play. PvP?
Games.
Diablo 4
Like
is
Diablo
not a
3
PvP.
is Diablo
Nobody does
4.
PvP in Diablo 4. Like, let's just be honest, guys. It's not real.
Is
Alambito.
not like that.
Yeah, so it doesn't
They are
matter.
not going to do this with Path of Exile 2. They are going to give every content piece they can a fair shake.
Yeah.
The beta, at minimum, it sounds like,
I don't know. You lost me, man. You keep talking about shit that I don't care about because I think you're an industry shill. You keep talking about stuff that I don't care about.
So apparently, this person who used to work for Meat Canyon, I guess, just got fired. She did a video about her experience working for Meat Canyon. We're gonna take a look at this and see if her complaints are valid or if she's just experiencing.
What was that sound? You know, that sound is my least favorite sound in all time. Here, listen to it.
Meat Canyon. So we're gonna take a look at this and see if her complaints are valid or if she's just experiencing some sour grapes. I usually get a bad impression from people. So apparently, this person who used to work for Meat Canyon, I guess, just got fired. She did a video about her experience working for Meat Canyon. So we're gonna take a look at this and see if her complaints are valid or if she's just experiencing some sour grapes. I usually get a bad impression from people who immediately talk about situations right after they happen, especially when it's like an appointment. I usually kind of bad. I think she's got a big channel though. She's like a brony. 1 million subs. Doing a lot of ponies.
Don't go.
Le random XD humor. But you know what? I'm not gonna let that discount me. That's the same. Yeah.
What?
I went through it. Yeah, I was working. I was an editor from like August to the start of this week. So.
This is music. Why is this weird music?
Yeah, no, I learned so much.
Oh god, I'm gonna die. Oh.
Just so you know, it's like,
Oh.
just like I got my Xanax.
Thank you.
Addicted to Xans and she's editing videos. I don't understand why they need to make this video on top of that. Does it really need to be out there? It's like a professional relationship counselor behind the scenes. Does it need to be in the video, really?
Came on from like really cheap things that happened, and I do my best to hide it, but you know, I would see him videos. But I only ever did one prior to being fired. When I was first hired, and I don't know how much detail I should go into, but I just want to talk about it because I kind of really for Derby, so y'all, we're doing 30,000 more. I'm the only one.
You have 1 million subscribers, you can't afford therapy? Where's your money going? Total channel views. 340 million channel views. I mean, she's in like a decently nice apartment. What is her monthly? I guess she should really afford therapy. Okay, so she's not getting a lot of views this month. I guess she's been editing. But she has 1 million subs. Where did all the money from these videos go? Possibly funds or something? I'm just really perplexed why. Median therapy price is this per visit? So usually like month, I mean that is expensive. But I mean, if you have like an adult paying job where you're making, you know, upwards of $6,000-7,000 a month, you should be able to afford like 50 sessions a month. No? I mean, I just don't understand. I guess they could be making way more money than they could. I guess it's tough to do it. Therapy. They work for $75-$20 per session. Insurance. They don't have insurance. She really was paid as little as she could have gotten Medicaid therapy. Good. I guess it's just over Medicaid. $30 per if you have insurance. Depending on how much you are, you can go once a week. Once a week. Food coffee. Yeah. So Meat Canyon for context is the guy that's the funny.
Oh.
The ones I know him for are the ones about like XQC, stuff like that. He kind of handles
Ram, what are you doing? Hey, stop! Hey, get off my girl! Don't touch her, bro! Let's go!
so, I mean, you kind of get the idea. He's got a few channels. Another one is Pop. It's a commentary channel. These are stuff weird. I guess this person was working for him for quite some time. Maybe not next Thursday. Talking about my next computer science undergrad, YouTuber.
I can't believe how long I lived.
7 weeks ago, I love this job so much. They should be able to afford therapy.
Oh my god, they're still winning.
Yeah, so I started.
Oh my god.
And I kind of got within my group of school and found out that something that was edited. So I added it to his adult page. Yeah. And something we kind of discussed after is kind of like, you know, didn't want this like work to be getting away from it.
Yeah. Stop.
He's kind of the head guy.
Oh
Oh, what's up, Zabe? Eat the baby. Thank you so much. No worries, Zabe. I'm just happy to talk to you. I love seeing you around. Yeah, so you made it seem like, you know, you don't want to stress it out. Like, just let us know what's happening. There's a lot coming up to this.
God damn it, I can't move!
Footage tomorrow. So I'm getting footage for the Goosebumps video.
Trippy Gecky, thank you for the no comment on that one.
Maybe even a bit more. I'm pretty sure it was on Sunday.
I can't talk to people's appearances.
But that Sunday was also my birthday. Yeah, that's correct. So that Sunday was my birthday, and I had gotten Ruthie at a concert that we had gone to for my birthday. So I had a really, really rough recovery from that. Whatever eventually recovered, but obviously you can imagine, you know, a day after
According to what other medics?
Ruthie, you're not.
I thought they said memetics as in the guy that was like banging Melina right now, but I think
I think actually that was
Oh, please! Oh god!
they just assumed you were going through a medical issue. I'm curious if Meat Canyon was doing like actual W-2 employment or if it's just W-9 contracting. I always do W-9 for my guys. I don't have any employees, but yeah, I'm very curious about that. Once again, this is just kind of like, oh, you didn't get to edit the video, you didn't get paid that one time. Why is this being talked about publicly? OMG, that's so horrible. OMG, that's so, yeah, is it that horrible?
I lost my temper a little bit, and I wouldn't say it was anything extraordinary. I wasn't like, screw you, but I was just like, well, whatever video I'm editing next better not be stupid, like the fucking Blueface video. It was something like that, and again, I was not in, like, a mindset at all. Like, maybe I couldn't have edited the wedding video, I don't know. that I was still like social-wise, I could like hardly function. And obviously the next couple of
Well,
days.
from that perspective, they probably just assumed that you were too f***ed up to edit the video, which, I mean, probably makes sense. If you admit that you're having outbursts and you're getting angry with your employer or, you know, contractor, it doesn't really make sense to get upset about that, to me. She's used so many words to say virtually nothing. I mean, yeah.
Things got a lot better. But he hands me the, I don't know if you saw the, what's up, Nick?
This is very just like my feelings are hurt because of things that happened to me outside of Meat Canyon. I feel bad for her for getting roofied, but I just don't understand why this is pertinent at all to this issue.
Oh yeah, no. Then this is like back October 8th. That's my birthday, and that's when I got drugged. So you know I'm doing just fine right now. But then let's see. After that, what am I? So from there we go on to I'm getting handed this Goosebumps video. I don't know if that's the exact timing, but I want to say. Actually, let me just go double check real quick because I don't want to get the facts. Them's is the facts. Thank you so much, Cosmic Keeper. Whoa, that's generous as hell.
Sending this through Streamlabs so YouTube doesn't hold it hostage for like a month.
Thank you so much, Keeper.
While since we talked, but you are a wonderful lady and you deserve so much better than life throws at you. It's just
Yeah, I seem to just one of the constants in all of these situations is me. It's almost like that situation.
It's almost that way. Almost.
Stick who would it? Maybe let's have a look at that. But until then, yeah, it's been kind of. Thank you so much for generosity. I also did want to mention that if you guys want to donate to the Streamlabs, I get access to fun WhatsApp video. And
Why is this person they are doing a bit of a pity party? Why are they so down bad monetarily? Really sucks you went through this. Hope you have saved the chat. Lots of people think they leave private messages out of panic. What actually did they do? Why is nobody here saying anything substantive? Someone just summarize for me what happened and I'll investigate it. It's interesting. Bad people hire good persons to do bad stuff. They can group with the homeless calculations. They can group their hire for things. Papa Meat hired them long ago. They do good work until we would lose tape and do the practice and easy. Can't do to recover the work they had done. They overworked to the end. They got replaced with one of those experience. Everyone got their money in that pocket situation. The way this is framed is so disingenuous. I'm making two predictions here based on this comment. Papa Meat hired them long ago. They do good work until we could duplicate it and do the crashes. Okay, if your computer crashes when you can't do the work, like obviously Papa Meat is running the business and needs someone to edit it. They can't recover the work they had done. Well, that sucks and I feel bad with them, but you expect people to like every excuse for you and bad things happen. But one of my editors, if they mess up their work or it's too late, like they'll like that sucks. I know feel kind of bad for them, but I need work to get done and videos to get out. I'm running a business. Things are, especially on YouTube, things are so timely with trending topics and things to get out. I'm gonna have someone else do that work and they might get paid for that over the other person. No, that's just how it is. They've been overworked. Well, if you're overworked, then just don't edit them in the first place. Get a different job and you work. If the video editing, which I know is super taxing and mentally draining, if that's too much, then just do something else. Get a different job. They got replaced with a younger, less experienced editor. Paid hush money. Did they sign an NDA or did they just give her like a severance package to be nice? Like, and if they did give them a bunch of money, why are they even talking about it? I don't understand. Translate this Russian to English. Why'd it only last an hour? It's somehow disrespectful to the fans. I don't know what that means.
But yeah, I got a higher percentage of your donate, so this is more 30% of your donation.
I want them to have it.
3% or something. So.
Donate to me for YouTube. I want them to have it.
Okay,
Thank
so
you, YouTube for being the ghosts.
what was it was the one after weird weddings.
Comments have a guy to do one of the worst, most evil things of all time, but still be a good little guy at heart. What does that even mean? What have I done that's one of the worst and most evil things? Funny comment. What does that mean? What does that mean?
There we go. So
yeah, trans girl, you're honestly a huge inspiration for me. I'm so through this. Really hope you're okay. Much love.
wow, okay, very generous donation. Jesus Christ. Actually, Joe says.
Consider this a late Christmas gift. You won't smile on my face, and I wish you the best in 2024.
Joe. Joe, hey, Joe, don't.
There's so much.
I like learning about like psychology
Canyon character? Okay, guys, stop.
Pray about it.
I also like the set. I do like it. again, I just don't totally understand why this video is existing right now in front of my eyes. Do you think someone's gonna hire you again after you do this? After the last guy who edited for you, or sorry, the last guy who paid you to edit, like you just go and talk after you don't do the work and he thinks it's time for you to go? Yeah, hire her. Yeah, good idea, bro.
What's the exact state? Yeah, so that one was after my birthday. I struggled to kind of get that one, but it wasn't late. Even though I'm like coming back to Earth from having been drugged, like roofied, it wasn't late still. Like I got it to them on time and everything. And then the following week,
Proud of you.
I'm still recovering from this, and a lot has kind of happened since this, you know, because it's difficult to get kind of your life back to exactly normal after.
I don't care. Talk about me,
So,
Canyon.
There are people in the background affecting
Talk about me, Canyon.
some other stuff going on within, and I think that will help for one family member, which those people are everything like close to me, but I had to do some stuff for my parents.
Constant music changes are giving me a headache.
That's same week my childhood dog passed away. I don't know if any of you who remember any super old videos, if you remember Jazzy, she passed away that week right after the 13th of October. I think it was the 16th is when she passed away. No, I don't condone harassing anybody. I just want to say what happened, and I just want to get it out of my system because I really feel like I got screwed over.
All right.
And the whole thing is very suspicious.
Let's see how suspicious.
So Jazzy passed away, and it was just a rough week. So, and they want this Goosebumps video to be like 30 to 40 minutes long. I get it to like 29 minutes on the cut, and I'm going as fast as I can. And Thursday night, me and the head editor, we are literally up all night editing this video. Like I'm editing it from like noon on Wednesday all the way till 9 a.m.
Thank God my life is not like that. I'd rather go to my room with no money and like just be by myself than have some kind of what's the word? Obligation to anybody else.
Noon on Thursday all the way to 9 a.m. like Friday, and I'm like, dude, I need sleep. I'm literally sick because my immune system was like messed up from that. So I caught a cold that week. I remember that now. So not only was I sick, childhood dog had passed away, so I'm helping my parents with stuff and like trying to comfort the family and going through my own little bit of grief. I know it's a dog, but still, like dogs are family. We end up.
Dogs are not family. We are not canine. They are not Homo sapien.
Up like he comes to me and he's like, hey, like this is really disappointing that it's taking this long, and I try to explain the circumstances, and this is Papa me talking to me, a hunter, and he's like, I know, I'm just really frustrated that, you know, we set a due date, like we gave you all of this stuff and it's not done. I don't, like, just communicate with us, like what could have we done to help? And I was like, I don't know, like this is all kind of developing this week, but they kind of sort of let it go at that point.
Okay, so once again, this is just like a big video talking about her feelings and like how she like got sick or something and her dog dies, or she's sad. And I mean, I feel bad for her for that. Okay, I don't really feel that bad for her for that, but that does suck for her. I don't know her. I don't really feel bad for her. But the thing with
I feel bad for her if her dog died. What's wrong with that?
that is, when you're running a business, obviously people need to get things done on time. And if he gave,
You lost me and you got negative.
We actually know quite.
I'm sorry, but you did. You got negative so fast.
Welcome back. You made it.
Thank you, Senpai Gaming, for the excellent content from my stream. I'd like to sub to your channel.
To the last video of 2023. I guess I should say I made it to the last video of 2023. I feel like that's a little bit more of an accomplishment here. And if I were to take a cold, hard look at the space right now, I think we can all agree this was the most interesting year for Twitch that they've had, ever? I don't know, maybe since 2020, the beginning of COVID, with the copyright strikes and stuff. It's been a wild ride, starting with probably its lowest low and ending on its highest high that it's had in a long time. I mean, we remember in the beginning, Emmett Shear quit this year. Emmett Shear quit and was replaced by Dan Clancy, that everyone, including myself, everyone thought was going to be a giant Amazon shill and was going to just destroy what was left of the Twitch culture. Remember, this was the guy a year and a half-ish ago that wrote that letter to all streamers explaining that the reason that the sub split was going to stay 50-50 was because It symbolized the partnership between streamer and platform. And yet somehow, in the last 10 months, Dan Clancy has gone from the reaper of Twitch souls, the bringer of Twitch Armageddon, to Twitch's golden child. Golden daddy? I don't know. That's completely. But the craziest thing is it's well-deserved. He's the most transparent CEO. Well, he's the second CEO. We're only comparing him to one other guy, but he's the first time that the CEO has interacted with streamers and spoken to us and actually streamed on the platform that he runs himself. And he was patient with all the criticism and open about it. And honestly, I don't think he could have possibly done better than he did this year. But, you know, how about before we go down this dark hole, I want to thank the very last sponsor of 2023, and they've been with us all year. They've been awesome, but it's SoD. And there will be a $25 cash giveaway at the end of this sponsor segment if you want to hang out for that. I know you're streaming watching this video, so if you watch these videos to try to grow your Twitch channel and to make your name in the space, this is a tool that you need to start using. Sizzle.gg is an automated editing service for live streamers, and it's free. You don't need to know editing software. What it does is it watches your live streams after they happen, and it finds the highlight moments, and it just cuts it out for you, either horizontal or vertical, so you have content ready to post on TikTok or YouTube or Instagram or wherever you like to post stuff. You just sign in with either a Twitch or a YouTube account. You let it know which stream you want it to edit for you. You let it know which game you're playing, and then it just does the rest. And it's even so good that you can filter the edits by kills, headshots, knockdowns, sniper kills, and victories. It's free, and it's one of those work smarter, not harder kind of tools, and it's something you should be using to reach larger audiences and grow your following. And that's for that $25 giveaway that I mentioned at the beginning. Sizzle.gg is going to pick 2 of you that use the link in the description and sign up for a free account, and they're just going to take $25. It's not V-Bucks or some kind of Sizzle credit, because Sizzle's free. It's just $25 cash and PayPal to spend on whatever you want. Skins, groceries, I don't care. But it's free money. So go sign up at the link down below, and maybe I'll see you on TikTok. Thanks to Sizzle. Okay, cool. Now we can get to the dark stuff. Obviously, I'm joking. I'm super grateful for the sponsors like Sizzle that we've had this year that have gotten me through the year, to be honest with you. There's a pretty serious growing trend, which we've all seen, that's causing some serious problems. And not just Twitch, but the entire streaming community. And not even just streaming, but the entire internet. But it seems like it is especially taken hold in the stream. I guess I'm making a video about this just because I want to hear your thoughts. I think I'm looking forward to the comments on this video more than I've looked forward to comments on any video I've made in a really long time. But if I can just drop the bomb real quick, it just seems like there's been a huge increase in drama and hot takes and rage baiting engagement on streaming platforms. Am I the only one that feels that way? When I joined Twitch in 2014, 2015, first started streaming and was watching Halo streams, like, I remember telling people that I found this website, Twitch, and it was the first time I felt like my people. This is a community. Everything was so positive. Gamers were rallying around each other. And now, I mean, you can't even release a cookie without the world freaking out. And it's not even about whether or not they're overpriced. It's the fact that this is way angrier than you should be over a cookie. And yes, I'm using the Pokemon situation as kind of an icebreaker joke, but in all reality, like, you have these creators that are harassing respectable cultures and being racist and genuinely harming the minds of young, impressionable viewers because it makes them a stupid amount of money. Like, you guys know that artistic nudity is allowed on YouTube, right? Like, if you look up how to draw breasts, there is, and you have to have a Google account signed into YouTube that is marked as over 18. But if you do that, there is a YouTube video that shows, I'm not trying to, you know what? It doesn't matter. It's the internet. There's 100 times worse things with a single Google search away. You'll see boobs on YouTube. It's there. The recent Twitch rule of artistic nudity that everyone freaked out about and had to be reversed exists on other platforms, and it exists there just fine. But you put it on Twitch for 2 days, and suddenly it becomes a site, and that kind of stuff happens because they're hoping to get clipped and tweeted and Dexerto tweeting about him. Streamers know that this kind of zero effort, outrage, and drama and clickbait stuff is the best way to grow your career on live streaming platforms, and it's a problem. The ROI of drama is so much higher than the ROI of good content in a live stream, and I'm worried that this is just the inevitable nature of live streaming. And I know there's degenerates on every platform, but it seems like they somehow managed to rise to the top in the streaming community. And I've had to spend a lot of time and ask myself why that is, and if that's reversible or if it's a trend. And the conclusion I came to was I do think it's a little bit reversible by adding discoverability with the feed. I think if you can find more people, the people who manage to sneak their way up to the top are no longer seen there as much. But at the end of the day, I think this is the first big problem on Twitch that isn't Twitch's fault. I think it's the nature of live streaming and how difficult it is to be creative day after day for long hours on end on a live platform. It's totally doable to be creative for 1 10-minute video a week. It's a completely different beast to be creative 40 hours a week when you're a one-man show. I mean, you have creators who at least make a huge attempt, creators like BDS and Sushi Dragon, that blow my mind and almost stress me out with how much effort they put into their live streams. But it is so hard to do that, and I think streamers have finally realized that you don't need to. If you can throw out a hot take and get all the Twitter or Twitch drama channels to tweet about you and Reddit to go crazy about you, it yields 100 times the results of doing something actually creative. And it's been a reason I haven't had much drive to go live much recently. I have hardly streamed since TwitchCon. I think 2 or 3 times in the last 2 months. I've just found my mind being drawn towards other avenues that excite me more. You know, we're starting a handful of channels this year. I've got a handful of products that I'm building for streamers that I'm more excited about than actually streaming. I am so excited about what we're building at ADA. They hate it when I tease secrets like this. They don't want me to share the secrets, which I think that means that we have a secret. But we are building something at ADAM that is, I think, going to disrupt the entire space. And I'm more excited about building this product than I am about actually going live. I hope you guys are okay with that. It's a little weird coming out of my mouth, you know, as someone who a lot of you call the stream doctor and some of you call the stream daddy, to say, like, I don't enjoy streaming that much anymore. I honestly feel a little guilty about it. And so I am going to do something about it. I'm going to give this one last genuine effort. I think one of the reasons I don't go live anymore is because I don't have a schedule. And so when you have the choice of, am I going to go live today, it's really easy to say, I'll go live tomorrow, I'll go live tomorrow. And I've had a lot of tomorrows on my plate. So when I get back from Christmas with the in-laws, I get back early January, I plan on setting a schedule for, I'd probably 2 times a week, a set time, a set day, and give it an honest effort that I don't think I've given it in 2 years. These will all be multi-streams. I'll be live on Twitch, Kick, and probably live as a members-only stream on this YouTube channel, just because I don't want to be oversaturating live streams.
Oh, what?
I'm hoping this is one of those pendulum effects where it swings really far one way and then it kind of breaks. And
Wow, he
back
dropped
into
it as I
heel
came.
and
That's
swing
so
back the other
stupid. You guys
direction.
are so lucky.
But sometimes it doesn't feel like that. And so I guess if you've been feeling a similar way that I have, not only let me know in the comments, but pop into a live stream on whatever platform you like to watch live streams on. It's been a while since I've had like a good, deep conversation, come to Jesus conversation with my audience. And one of my favorite things I've always loved about streaming is that I get to learn so much from you guys. So share with me what you got in my chat. And if nothing else, hope that you can find some kind of companionship in there and some form of encouragement to isolate yourself from this growing trend of drama and rage. I love you guys so much. I'll see you in 2024. And as always, happy stream.
You got me caught on the corner, you bitch. Fucking butter those fucking walls, you piece of shit. Oh, did we win? No, we didn't win, but we're close. Woo! Yeah! 13-9, bitch. Best in the match. 34-9. 34-9, 13-9. 34-9, 13-9, 34-9, 13-9. Oh. Difference. Everything's a difference. That guy, he thinks only in his small penis in relation to everybody else's penis. So he thinks difference. And I've never in my life said blah blah difference. I've been like, oh, you know, small penis difference. Yeah. Oh. We won that one. Mm-hmm.
Undertale is one of the best indie games that has ever been released, with its fantastic writing, touching and funny story, relatable characters, and high-quality sprite art. However, Undertale is also known for having one of the best soundtrack in video game history, with the OST getting millions of views on YouTube alone. It gets to the point where there have been thousands of fan remixes, new unique music using Undertale as inspiration, YouTubers like myself using Undertale's music as background music in their own videos, and fan games taking years of development, which includes remixes and covers of different themes from the game. However, Undertale's soundtrack is in danger. Allow me to tell you a story about how one fan game has completely changed the dynamic of how Undertale's music is handled, and the company behind
The dynamic. I love the fucking buzzwords they use to completely gloss over, like, the subject content.
Undertale's music publishing is going
It's like you're a teacher, you're like, nah, C minus. Where's the subject content?
against Toby Fox's wishes. This is the story of how Undertale's music is in copyright hell.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
Welcome back.
I'm sorry, I'm not being flippant or dismissal. It's just, I'm sure it is. Okay.
Terraria is
Thank you, The Geek Factor. I've liked and subbed to your channel.
a great example of a game that nails almost every feature it contains, and I absolutely love it. It's an exploration-focused, combat-heavy game with intriguing NPCs and wonderful mechanics.
I've been at this
Additionally,
12 hours
it's
and
developed
50
by a
minutes.
small, extremely passionate team. It's just a good game. I first got it on the PS3 back in 2013, and on Steam a couple years later. Playing it again for the footage of this video has been a blast. It's got a fair share of problems, but there's a reason it has sold over 40 million copies. Minecraft is a very similar game that attempts to do a lot of the same things that Terraria does, just executed much worse. Minecraft is a good game, but I feel that most criticisms can be captured under the overwhelming fact that it struggles with one key feature that Terraria excels at: progression. Progression is key in any open world survival game. You could argue that Minecraft is meant to be more of a building game or a platform with which players can make their own experiences, and I'd say you're correct, but that's not what this video is about. I think critiquing Minecraft's progression is perfectly relevant because survival single player is the base from which it developed. It's silly to ignore the base survival game as if it's not an integral part of the Minecraft experience. If you're afraid of hearing critical opinions about a game you love, then perhaps this video is not for you. Just know this video was made out of a place of love for Minecraft. I know I've started from a very critical perspective, but let me be clear. In some ways, Minecraft is really good. The concept of mining is simple and intuitive. Anyone can left and right click. There's almost no skill to the action itself. Beyond
I disagree, actually. Some of the gameplay mechanics and loops in Minecraft can actually be extremely skill-based and annoying. Yo, they don't like it when I pick Brig. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do that to them. I'm not gonna fuck around with them like that. They're like, no. And I'm like, no, I'm not throwing a competitive match. They don't like me. I don't fucking care, bitch. I've got a gold in all of it. You can go fuck yourself. I'm just kidding. These people haven't said anything. They don't mean anything either. I don't know, man. I don't want to run out of that, man. Oh. Oh. Sorry, we shut you out. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's good when people actually don't need to be carried by me. Usually I have to carry 4v1. You know, I have to carry it. Like, I'm the best one there. If these guys even remotely do their job, we just, like, coast on in. You know? See how they kind of seem like they care? Oh, scary, scary. Oh, 40 and 12. I try to get him point. Oh my god, please help me. Oh no, they got this? They got this. Oh, I don't know. Try. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh man. We've got to win this somehow. No, I'm not. I'm not changing. I'm not changing. I'm just gonna play Moira. Oh no! Did you close the match? I did. I did. I fucked that fucked those people. You fucked those people. Oops. What happened there? You kind of fucked up and like closed my match a lot really fast. Please get me in. Please get me in. Oh no, get me in, get me in. Rejoin, rejoin. Okay, 1%, that's okay, we're doing okay. We can still win this. Fuck. Oh. What? Come on, get a kill! Everybody's low! Everybody died and we lost this. I disconnected and we lost all this. Oh well, what can I do? Try again. No, 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 yeah, don't push this now yet. Yep, yep. Not till they're ready. Yep. Get out, get out, get out, get out! No, 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 she won't kill me. Okay, we somehow got it. That's good. Three, two, one. Yeah, come on, win this game. Please don't die in there. Oh my god, kill them, please. What are you guys doing? No. Please tell me we won this. Or at least have a chance. Yeah, hold the point. Hold the point. Hold the point. We can do this. Oh, we can do this. We can do this. We can do this. We can do this. Stay alive. Stay alive. Put. Oh, Gotta get the Anna, gotta get the Anna, gotta get the Anna, gotta get the Anna, gotta get the Anna. Oh god, gotta get the Anna. Oh, 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 god. Oh, gotta throw an orb, gotta throw an orb. Oh, god damn it. No. No! No! Please kill the Junkrat, you fucking idiots! No. Where was the rest of the team? We lost this. We lost this all because you sucked. Oh. We shouldn't have lost this, you idiots. We has more kills than them. Oh, you set this back the other direction. It's so annoying. It's so annoying. Oh, I'm full. I'm full. I gotta go to the processor. Damn it. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'll switch up, I guess. Whatever. Oh! Please get kills! Somebody get fucking kills! Somebody get kills! Somebody get kills! It's so fucked up. Somebody get kills! Oh god, please! Somebody get kills, please! Oh! Oh! Oh god! Oh, I killed her! I killed her! Woo! I still got a better KDR. I have a better KDR than the entire team, by the way. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I actually have a 3.1 KDR. It's actually better. It's not 2. It's 2.8. 2.8 is super good. I actually had a really good KDR. I did not die a lot. I just fought a lot. And by the way, the entire session's been competitive. It's pretty fun. You know, I gotta say, pretty fun.
On that, getting the hang of building isn't all that hard either. Sure, you can take the time, become a master at building, but you certainly don't need to do that to progress in Minecraft. In the standard vanilla survival experience of Minecraft, there is a serious imbalance of challenges and rewards.
No, there isn't.
Building things isn't too hard, so that's not a big deal. Mobs are pretty easy to fight, so, you know, that's fun.
Yes, they are.
You can do anything you want while gathering all the resources you need to build your mega base. Even better, you can become a redstone wizard and automate the hell out of your world, essentially letting the game do everything for you.
Yeah, right.
You can beat the
if
Ender
you
Dragon
read a
almost
bunch
never,
and
fight the
do
Wither
a
with
whole
little more
bunch of
effort,
shit.
and get some elytra and some advancements, and that's really about it in terms of what the game lays out for you. This all sounds okay in theory. In fact, I'm willing to bet it works for some people. I'm sure tons of you feel that Minecraft has fulfilled what you wanted it to fulfill as a game. You may even argue that its simplicity is what made Minecraft successful. Anyone can play it. It doesn't need a lot of progression. But
no, I think the main thing about Minecraft is you haven't seen the depths of it yet. You haven't seen the depths of it yet. Even at the end of it, when you think you've done it for 10 years, you haven't seen the depths of it yet. And I think that's really cool. Let's go fight some competitive motherfuckers.
I ask you this.
This video is boring to me. I'm sorry. Minecraft has not lost its identity. Sure, yeah.
When the Havoc expansion launched into EVE Online, it brought
Captain Benzie, thank you for the excellent content for my stream. I'd like to sub to your channel.
Battle cruisers, the Gurustis Pirates, Alligator, and the Angel Cartel, Kisriel. Now, I am a bit of a Minmatar fanboy. I love the Angel Cartel.
Me too, yeah.
I love my projectile turrets. So it seemed a little bit of a no-brainer that the Kisriel was one of those ships that I was very excited to get my hands on and see how it would perform. Now, admittedly, this is probably more of a PvP ship than a PvE one, but considering I have
whatever, I didn't hit him.
And I have
Joker is so good.
Going ratting in C3 wormholes, I thought, why not give the Kisriel a spin? And so in this video, I'm going to take you through what I've managed to uncover about the Kisriel over the past couple of weeks of flying with this ship. I do apologize for the delay, but hopefully you'll find this as entertaining and enlightening as I did flying it. Ahoy there folks, I'm Captain Benzie and welcome back to another video for EVE Online. In today's video we're going to be taking a look at the Angel Cartel Kisriel, this absolutely drop-dead gorgeous ship you see on your screen now. Oh boy, this is a vessel that from the second I saw it announced at FanFest, I knew I needed to fly. Just look at it! I love the Angel Cartel ships in general. I think they have a really unusual, angular, quite demonic sort of aesthetic to them, and the Kisriel really ramps that up all the way to 9. Now, annoyingly, when it's docked, you can't see all the really flashy stuff. Like down the sides here, these ribs do glow, as does the Angel Cartel logo in the center there. I do also love this skin. That whole point of Steal the Future, yeah, okay, it's a little bit teen edgelord, but at the same token, that's kind of my aesthetic. So you know what, we're gonna roll with it. I love getting to play the pirate. I love getting to use projectile cannons. I really enjoy cruises and battle cruisers. So yeah, we're gonna have a look at flying this in C3J space and how well it compares to other vessels and why you might want to or not want to fly this particular ship. If you do enjoy this video and you fancy helping support the channel, please take a second to hit like, drop a subscription if you haven't already, and comment down below. That all really helps the channel out by basically teaching YouTube my content's worth watching. Please show it to more people. If you do want to help support financially, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Along with some really cool bonuses that you can get as a new player to EVE Online. With all that said and done though, let's jump...
A 6-hour EVE Online bloodbath of a tournament that we got to commentate. Yes, that's the Cruiser Chaos Tournament, brought to you by our friends over at Astral Acquisition. They hosted the tournament.
asked into the tournament, pulling my favorite Caesar Milan character voice out of you. Go watch Hunger Games if you don't know anything. And y'all, in this video, we took the
Please
final
don't do that.
matches. We put it together for you so you could see all the excitement. By the end of this video, you're going to be better at PvPing, just seeing the various strategies and systems that people employ. So enjoy the top 10 finals of the Cruiser Chaos Tournament.
Loru for the motherfucking win.
We've got Death in a Vexer. Death in a Vexer with one of, I believe, my favorite skins. Yeah, Death, love this skin so much. It is the first, ladies and gentlemen, I believe, this is the first mirror match of the day. Vexer v Vexer, Kneecap versus Kneecap, and I already see the active armor coming in on Targetha. Kneecap versus Kneecap. Let's see who wins the drone vote fight. Very interesting, ladies and Vexer v Vexer. Normally I say, who do you think is going to win? Vexer v Vexer. Ladies and gentlemen, put your predictions into the chat. Vexer or Vexer? What do you think is going to win today? And thank you very much. I think Vexer too. No, I think the Vexer. I think it'll be close. I believe it's Vexer. Vexer puts the drones on the Vexer. That means that if the Vexer has DPS hitting them, it really comes down to the Vexer and how DPS the Vexer's tank. Because if the Vexer... I'm losing it! Chat, it comes down to this. I'm serious for just a second. I bet that will win this mirror match. They will win depending on their E-War team. They'll win depending on their E-War team. The match is starting. Vexer v Vexer coming in. Let's see. And there's some E-War immediately coming out. Death taking some shots, but Tardessa getting nuded out. Absolutely Death doing all the newts to the, I'm going to say Vexer, goodness gracious. Tardessa getting...
Why do I have to run the entire match to get to my team?
Death also webbing Tardessa. Death newting and webbing Tardessa. Both players throwing the drones out. Tardessa going down to armor. Both players going down. Death taking a bunch of damage. And Death has the... Remember, chat, you remember Death has the pocket. Death taking a bunch of damage going down to armor and almost to hull. But Death has the pocket shield tank. Both players showing up. Death has all the kicks. Tardessa has let's see the pocket shield tank. Vexer can do those players just not moving. Because they're drone boats. Let's see who the difference in drone boats are. We are seeing Tardessa is using Valkyries against Death. Looks like Death is using Tom Goblins. I don't and some infiltrators too. A mix of drones coming out from both players. Expert PvPers trying to pick the best damage profile, seeing what does what, seeing who's where, trying it out. Death at hull. Death going down to hull, but remember, Death is hull tanked. There with the pocket shield tank. He's trying with the E-War, with the web, with the newts to do it. Tardessa also has active armor tank. It's neck and neck. No, chat. It's Kneecap and Kneecap, baby. They're both trying. Death at half hull. Who's gonna win? Time is coming up, ladies and gentlemen. If Death can outlast this, he could be able to come back. Death reloading his shield wrap. Trying his best. He's trying to do that. Tardessa is trying to last with his hull tank. Once Tardessa's armor is gone, that could be it. But Death coming out, he's trying to reload his active tank as much as possible. Is Tardessa out of capacitor? We're not seeing any more active tank. Once Tardessa hits hull, that could be it. Death reload. Does the last Very good round there. Holy crap, chat. That was something. I can't believe that that was so close. I honestly that was something. Don't rep to like only rep when the rounds are active. It's meant to be a soft, call it a soft reset to that. So the red coming out of those gems carries our admins, tournament admins are here. I'm exhausted. First step, Tardessa, active armor, rep. Armor tank, doing it. Death, the hull tanked Vexer with active shield, meme, doing it. Death, very low on hull. That said, here we go. It starts. Death, throwing out the news. Trying to see what's coming in. Tardessa, doing his best. Getting the DPS onto Death, doing all the things. Death trying, throwing out the E-War. Both players are whipped. Both players doing it. Death getting low on shield. Tardessa low on armor. Tardessa getting dangerous low on armor. Death dangerously low on shield. Death just holding that active shield down, not stopping. Tardessa also repping up whenever Tardessa can. Death continues just shield whiplash coming in. I almost ripped out my headphones. Shield whiplash coming in so much, almost whipped out my headphones. Listen to me saying whipped instead of whipped. Almost whipped it out, chat. Can you believe it? Death trying to get back up Tardessa using that active armor at the very last second. Coming back up. Death, Tardessa, neck and neck. Billions of ISK on the line. It's only the quarterfinals coming to scram. Coming out. Another E-War coming out. Death down to hull. Is active shield gonna do it? Death, are you gonna be able to survive? Death, are you gonna be able to get your shield back up? He's got 1 HP. And there it goes. The memes are only dreams. The kneecap falls to the other kneecap. The shield hull tank Vexer dies. 07s and GFs to the players. Tardessa takes it. Both players playing absolutely incredibly wow. Here it is, chat. Here it is. Death, shield, hull, tank, Vexer. Good God, the here it is, ladies and gentlemen. The Vexer that started it all. We love to see even the transfer of rigs. What an effective ace. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, our next duel underway. Vladimir anywhere that needs Stabber first. Thorax starting right now. Both players ready to go. Stabber don't shift up favor this morning. Stabber all DPS, all gas, no break, and the Thorax. Similarly to 11 damage. We're going to go DPS rate. So interesting, friends. Thank you very much. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Both players are starting. Thorax coming in. Thorax getting Stabber very wide. He's going to start hits locked down. Which one do you think is going to win? Stabber or Thorax? I want to see. The Thorax taking a bunch of damage, going straight down. Absolutely going to armor. Let's see what kind of active tank. Hopefully the Vladimir has good prediction. Stabber on shields right now. Doesn't matter if he's being E-Ward. The Thorax taking so much damage. Stabber with 5 drones plus all the boots on him. The Thorax going down to hull already. Goodness gracious. Here we go. The Thorax at hull. So much DPS coming out from the Stabber. drones come out. Missiles coming out from the Vexor, I think it seems. The Vexor with missiles on it. Moa doing some damage to the Vexor coming out. Let's see if there's an E-war. We got some fireworks coming in. The fireworks, you don't think the fireworks are part of the EvE yet. It looks like the Vexor is trying to just act like trash. You know, like in news, all that stuff. The Moa looks like no E-war coming out from anybody. Damage. The Moa trying to DPS the Vexor down. Drones coming out. I don't see any E-war drones as well. The Moa using hobgoblins, and the Vexor, I literally can't see anything. God sake. The Vexor using a hammerhead. We're going to sit on the Vexor because I actually can't see anything. God bless you, Ben. Ben just having to play EvE Online in the middle of a massive starburst. My eyes. My eyes. Those aren't missiles. Exactly. Those aren't missiles, Jeff. Those are fireworks. The Vexor choosing the next level gameplay, choosing fireworks in his fit, trying to make it harder to see. How interesting. The Moa is shield tanked, ladies and gentlemen. The Moa down to 40% shield. The Vexor also seems to be shield tanked, possibly passive shield tanked coming in. We're seeing both players try their best here. The Moa going down lower than the Vexor. The Moa trying to do as most DPS as possible. The Moa is trying to be in the right range here, but I'm not seeing, I can't see anything for God's sake, but the Moa, where's the daggone Vexor? I can't see. Looks like a decent range for the Vexor. Chat, I literally can't think, so we're going to go over here. The Vexor trolling the Moa and the caster. I literally can't do my job. Thank you very much. Incredible, amazing. Both players doing their best here. The Moa getting super low. The Vexor continuing to be shield tanked. Looks like we got some serious regen on this Vexory boy. Look at this. The Moa going, once the Moa shields are down, chat, that might be it. That might be it. The fireworks are the new flashbang. JD getting ready for Vanguard with some flashbang grenades. Goodness gracious. Moa almost losing the shield, just barely getting there, trying to damage the Vexor, but just tickling him, and that's time. Ladies and gentlemen, that round went very fast. Time. They are resetting. Both players shield tanked. Goodness gracious, what an interesting strategy to pick the brightest fireworks you can run as part of your PvP setup. I did not think this. The scram comes in as the random E-war to start. The scram is going to be it. Let's see how.
Oh man, 61. I hit the same thing I hit yesterday.
We add fireworks to our E-war for the next stream. Vanguard slipped right in. Chrissy, incredible. Oh my gosh. No running now. The scram is here. Right. When you order missiles from Wish. Yo, King Dio over on King Diomedes over on YouTube with the best joke I've seen all day. When you order missiles from Wish. That's the funniest stuff I've seen. The Vexor is control shield. I believe that is confirmation the Vexor is a passive regen shield. And the match starts, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. The Moa is only able to get back to half. It's already taking chunks. The Vexor takes the damage here, but because we saw the Vexor use up the full, no action tank on the Vexor unless I didn't see the action. I don't think so. I think the Vexor full on regen tanks here. The random E-war from the carry admin hitting. Starting with Scram. I don't know if we're going to wait that long, though, to see how the Vexor will come back up. I want Ben to win, chat. I'm not making predictions, but the Moa is just so low on that shield, taking all the damage from the drones. The Vexor is getting it, doing it, absolutely regenning all that shield. Very intrigued to see this Vexor fit, and I'll say, chat, if the Vexor wins this, because of how much shield regen it has, this Vexor could go all the way. This is the first Vexor that I've seen. The Moa taking chunks out of all the cells once the shield is gone. That's gonna do it. Goodness gracious, ladies and gentlemen, the Moa down to hull. Can't take it anymore. The shield rep from the Moa going. The Moa half hull. He's seen something get pulled out before. Let's see, Ben. I believe in you, Ben. Let's see the next E-war coming out. Newt coming out from the carry E-war. Let's see it, Ben. Like it, God bless you. The host seven.
What? Please do something. You didn't heal me for so long. I'm like doing the tank. You did nothing, you idiot. You did nothing. Nothing at all. Do something, you fucking idiot. I have more kills than you. Do something.
Right up on top of the Caracal. The Caracal don't care. Caracal doing all the DPS. I feel like I'm stuff again. You know, the Caracal getting the Thorax down to armor so fast, not worrying about it. The Caracal. Rain taken down to armor so fast. Looks like the Caracal is being webbed. And the Thorax trying to lock down the Caracal. Get thermal missiles getting hit. The Thorax is probably armor tanks we're going to see. If the Thorax can pull this out, looks like trying to lock down the Caracal. All this into the Thorax is also throwing drones out onto the Caracal in addition to guns. They've got them right on top of each other, literally on top of the casting deck. I'm in the way. This is on an envoy ground that's already happened. Goodness gracious, thank you very much. Sorry, guys. There's just so much things going on. They hit my deck. I can't believe it. The Thorax active armor tank confirmed on the Thorax. The Caracal trying his best to do all the damage. The Thorax taking the Caracal down to half.
You guys can't get a kill. Jesus Christ, get a fucking kill.
Here we go. So much stuff coming in. Most players are just on top of me, Jeff. I don't even have to do anything. I can just zoom out of me. They literally bumped me. I've never been bumped before. How dare you, Mr. Caracal? How dare you? The Thorax is going down to half armor. But Caracal also going down to 30% shield. Typically, I believe the Caracal is shield tank. Looks like it. Looks like the Caracal is shield tank. If the Thorax can take it out before time, the Thorax can have this. It's almost getting down there. We're almost at 2.5 minutes. We're almost there. Maybe it's playing that way. It's entirely possible. They're literally poking me in the mouth. How dare you knock the casting get hit? I can't believe they would do this to me. Thorax active shield coming out, getting back to full. We're approaching time. Ladies and gentlemen, it's almost there. The Thorax is not able to break the Caracal yet, but it's super close. Trying his best to prove it. The Caracal loses this. Is it the Caracal chunks now that the shield's gone? The Thorax doing it is. It's so close to time. The Caracal half armor. I believe that's that. Time? Time was called. Ladies and gentlemen, random E-War time. 2.5 minutes. After 2.5 minutes, we will have random stacking E-Wars. Wow. And it looks like it's going to be a web E-War. Web. We have our admins doing random assigned stacking E-Wars to the ship in carries. This is going to be an interesting next map. We see Caracal getting a little bit of heals up here. Okay. Admins are heroes today, Nihilus. I totally agree. They could not have been I am the what they put it on, they did the rules, they organized it, they did all the behind the scenes stuff. Most of that stuff, they are absolutely, their house is so much, everything behind the scenes. I'm a one-man, show right now today. Their rules, all the stuff coming in, they are absolutely doing it. Well done, 07s to all the admins. Excellent. So we got the Caracal, ladies and gentlemen, Thorax coming in. Who's gonna win? Yeah, the Caracal has been able to regen back up. Thorax not here, but he is all the active armor. This is the first. This is the fourth line. I am digging. Here we go. Got rain. Third. Guilty. Webs come out from the carry. Map is starting. Both players are being webbed by the carries. The Caracal is going to try to do the best it can here. First Guilty, all the good stuff coming in. Let's see who takes the Caracal, throwing out missiles, doing some thermal. Trying his best. Guilty, throwing out the damage. Remember, the Caracal seems to be buffer shield tank, so that was a good enough time for Rain to be able to get some stuff back. Both players are webbed, both players not moving. The Thorax trying his best to bide his time, not using the active tank yet, trying to play it out, trying to make the Thorax real close. Real close. Not both players have drones coming out. No E-War drones. Just great Thorax overhead. But Caracal is warriors. Both players got optimized by both players. And very different profiles that we have Caracal in. Thorax almost there, but then get back up. The Thorax out as well. The stacking E-War continues. Both players are webbed and scrammed. Goodness gracious. This is going to be a not so close one, I don't think. Here we go. Absolutely seeing all the DPS coming out from both players. Both players trying their best. It's gonna come down to E-War. The Caracal trying his darndest. All the passive buffer it can muster. The Thorax getting right up on top of the Caracal. The missiles don't care how far away you are, though. They care how
Come on,
fast you are.
Caracal.
Ladies and gentlemen, it comes down
Come on,
to how much
Caracal.
active tank does Gildy have left. Can Gildy outlast the Thorax's buffer? The Thorax continues to do DPS and take the Caracal out, but can Gildy keep out healing the missile damage? The more E-War coming down. This is very close. The Caracal is about to lose the shield, and just like that, the shield's gone to paper thin armor going away. The hull is taken out as well. The damage coming out. Is there some kind of the newts coming out? The newts from the stacking E-War. This is it, ladies and gentlemen. The Caracal bites it. That's it. The Thorax wins.
Thorax wins. That's sad.
Warp drive active.
What was that? Yeah, like I got stunned out of my ult for like 8 seconds. Come on, that's not how that went. What are you talking about? Oh, come on. Wow. Come on, that's bullshit! What? Oh my god. What? Woo! Okay, let's keep going. It's good to win, good to win, good to win.
Warp drive active. Well done to both players showing how great they were at PvP.
So this is something a lot of people wanted me to show.
Thank you, Loru Gaming, for the excellent content for my stream. I've liked and sub to your channel. Thank you for the excellent content for my stream. I've liked and sub to your channel.
So this is something a lot of people wanted me
Thank you, Aspen Gold TV. I've liked and sub to your channel.
show. China is trying to implement a new law about online gaming that forbids daily login, first-time purchase, a cumulative purchase bonus, and selling gacha service to under 18s. The law is not implemented yet, but in the process of asking public opinion. TLDR, let's read what some of them have to say. China is going to implement a new regulation about online games. The full regulation is described in the above link. They're asking public opinion and asking player-developer reactions. However, since this, Tencent and NetEase's stock dropped massively. Wait, so ever since they announced that they might do this, Tencent and NetEase are dropping stock. I don't know why, but that's so fucking funny to me. To my games 18 plus, yeah. I mean, I think that that's really the thing, and you know, at a certain point, like I have a lot of opinions about this. I think that having gacha games that like target, like it's basically gambling, and I think gambling is just, you know, you shouldn't be advertising gambling to kids. Like it's just that simple. And so you have a lot of these games that effectively use gambling systems, and it would be fine, I think, if they were labeled that way. But they're labeled as if they're not gambling systems. And so that's the difference. Gambling for kids should be illegal. Well, the funny thing is that it is. Yeah, it is illegal, and they use these games to get around the fact that it's illegal. When China, if something is announced, it usually is guaranteed to pass into law. Tencent and NetEase are good enough to make a great game without microtransactions if they want to. Yeah, I mean, well, they mainly invest in a lot of other companies, right? CCP, Arbiter of Morals. Yeah, exactly. And so let's see what the rest of this is. The entire regulation has more than 50 rules, and most of them are just standard regulations. However, some new stuff was added this time, which effectively affect all famous Chinese games, especially gacha and online MMOs. Forbids force PvP in online games. What about a game like Valorant? Or what about a game like League of Legends? How does that work? But okay, that's interesting. Forbids daily login bonus, first purchase bonus, and a cumulative purchase bonus. Not allowed to sell gacha, random pull, service to under 18s. Why? This is my best assumption of why. It's because a lot of the online games have forced PvP in order to incentivize people to spend money on the game. So the forced PvP is the driving force of motivating people to spend money on the game. That's my best guess. I don't know. Like, I can't read their mind, but that's what I think. Games like Clash of Clans. Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I get invaded in that game and I don't even know what happened. Here are the two things. Oh, this is the last one. Encourage developing games that promote socialism, core value, promoting the advantages of socialism, promote revolutionary culture, promote traditional Chinese culture, and promote the advancement of technology and creativity, promote games that are good for the mind and for health. Okay, so that's all, you know, that all makes sense, yeah. Okay, Tencent and NetEase lost 20% and 15% of their stock value as of now. Oh my god. Limit on how much an underage person can spend based on their age. I have like a lot of opinions on this, and I think this is a really complicated topic. Because I think that it makes sense that like but the reality is that the game shouldn't exist to begin with. Basically, I think that any game where you buy something in the game and you don't know what you're getting, that shouldn't happen. Like, you should always know what you're buying and you spend money on the game. There should never be a time where, like, this is, okay, it's very simple, right? So basically, the problem is it's in the red, right? This is the problem. Whereas theoretically, if you could just spend money and get the waifu directly, then it would be no problem. So the problem is that there is a random chance. And the reason why this is a problem is because it serves no tangible benefit to any customer. It doesn't improve the experience. It doesn't do anything other than obfuscate how much money you're spending. And I think that's really what the focus is about this. And like, so the two things that I think that should happen, I don't think that you should make a daily login reward illegal. I think that's ridiculous. Like, I mean, I know obviously they're very annoying, but I don't want to have, like, regulation is necessary in some cases, but it should be used as a last resort. And it also should be used whenever there is a tangible harm being done to an individual that is profit driven. So like, you know, an individual is being hurt, and then in the process of that, they're also, the company will not stop doing it because they're making money, right? That's pretty much how it happens. Where like daily logins, I don't think that falls into that category. I think that's a massive overreach. Now, also, I want to say too, I think that weeklies and daily quests are kind of stupid, and I find them annoying. I think a lot of you guys probably feel the same way, right? Like, I feel like, yeah, all of these things are annoying, and I don't really like them. Yeah, sure, not in socialist economies. Regulations are the way the market works. You think a free market mindset for a socialist country? Well, yeah, I mean, I don't, like, I'm giving my opinion on it. Yeah, I don't agree with living, like, you know, like, obviously the Chinese government is not what I would use as a paragon of morality. Like, what are we talking about here? Of course not. What are we doing? Yeah, no way. And so it's not even like, I'm not saying China's awful or the people are awful or anything, but yeah, the government is like very overreaching. It just simply is. And so anyway, that's number one, right? And number two, actually kind of like a funny thing, is that it's actually the same thing. This is also another problem. That's money. That's a little bit too good. And then it turns into... oh, wait, boys, we're doing it. And then we'll go ahead and do this right here. Gold. And then we're going to do this right here. This is the item. Okay. So again, I want to go ahead and make the exact same graph. The other thing that I think is genuinely bad, and I think that they should get rid of it, and they should make this a regulation against this, is secondary currencies. So what I mean by that is that having to buy, for example, platinum or gold.
A 6-hour...
I don't frankly care. And that's a problem. I don't care about this anymore. You guys keep spinning on it. I'm done.
Historically speaking, the state of Florida has been famous for...
Thank you, Wavy Webster, for the excellent content from my stream. I'd like to sub to your channel.
Expansive theme parks, and diverse wildlife. But over the last decade or so, there's been one export that's really taken center stage, at least in terms of online intrigue. It's the phenomenon of Florida Man. Yes, Florida has in many ways become a meme, thanks to its extraordinary penchant for regularly churning out some of the most bizarre criminals in the world. From Florida men assaulting people with alligators, to a sloshed Sunshine Stater getting a DUI while operating a motorized Walmart scooter, you can rest assured that if you're browsing the web and you see an online article that has the headline Florida Man, it's going to detail some of the most creatively batshit insane crimes imaginable. And with that, put your swim trunks on and come with me on this Wavy Web Surf special report. These are the internet's most notorious Florida men. Today's video is sponsored by Opera. In the world of internet browsers, I found that Opera is top of the line when it comes to built-in quality of life features. I love Opera's new Lucid Mode feature. Lucid Mode fixes blurry online videos with a single click. I've had a lot of fun with Lucid interested, as a lot of my video research comes from me digging through old 480p videos and old school YouTube. It's interesting to see Lucid work its magic on these old clips. It really sharpens those images up. And of course, Opera has you covered with the essentials. It's got a built-in VPN, ad blocker, and private browsing mode. I'm also a really big fan of Opera's tab islands, which help clean up your workspace. This feature allows you to consolidate related tabs at the top of your browsers to islands. Here you can see I've got some YouTube videos I'm researching and some Google Docs that I'm working on. Now that's a lot of tabs. It's cluttery. Let's island them out and boom. The workspace is much cleaner, easy to navigate, you know where everything's at. And lastly, this browser comes equipped with Aria, Opera's native AI tool. With live access to the web, Aria greatly expands your capabilities with AI. It's easily accessible in the sidebar and gives you clear answers instantly. Aria gives you real-time information to any questions asked and generates content based on your ideas in just a few clicks. What more can I say? Opera has it all and even a little more. I want to give a big thanks to them for sponsoring today's video, and if you're interested in downloading Opera, a link is in the description to do so. Florida man violates a plush doll. Florida men are no stranger to committing sex crimes. However, this particular Florida man was jailed for a deviancy that few even in the Sunshine State can lay claim to. He violated an Olaf the Snowman doll in public. On October 22nd, in Pinellas Park, Florida, a man named Cody Christopher Meter visited his local Target retail location. But what you'll soon find, though, is that this was no ordinary visit to pick up new clothes or groceries. Rather, the man's purpose for being at this Target was far more sinister, with Cody apparently visiting the location to fulfill a depraved sexual fantasy. Upon arriving at the Target store, the 20-year-old man went to a merchandise display which housed various toys from Disney's Frozen movie. He then picked up a large Olaf plushie from the shelf, removed his genitals from his pants, and began pumping the stuffed snowman on the Target store floor. According to reports from officials, Cody would ejaculate on the toy and return the desecrated doll to the display shelf. And this wasn't the end of the degeneracy, as Cody was looking for round two. After defiling the Olaf doll, Cody reportedly walked over to another toy aisle and grabbed a large unicorn plushie. He would then proceed to violate this toy in a sensible manner as well. If not stopped, this rampaging dry humper likely would have nutted on every toy in the Target store. Thankfully, though, due to surveillance footage, security detected what Cody was perpetrating, and police were notified promptly. Cody had been caught red-handed, and when police arrived and questioned him, he confessed to doing, quote, stupid stuff, and said that he, quote, nutted on Olaf. As a result of his serial dry humping spree at Target, Cody was charged with criminal mischief. As for the toys that he violated, they were removed from shelves and destroyed. Following Cody's detainment, his father revealed to police that he, quote, has a history of this type of behavior, unquote. The exact details of what the father meant by this statement weren't elaborated on, but needless to say, it's possible that this wasn't Cody's first foray into such disgusting activity. Whatever the case, Cody's time in custody was short-lived, as he was released from jail on the same day of his arrest on a $150 bail. About a year after the crime, in March of 2021, a judge ordered a psychological evaluation for Cody. The judge appointed him a psychologist before a hearing on that would determine his ability to stand trial. He was eventually determined fit to stand trial, and in January of 2022, the Florida Freak was sentenced to serve 6 months of probation.
The Florida Freak.
His sentence came after he pled
The
no
Florida
contest to
Freak.
criminal mischief and indecent exposure charges. He was also ordered to pay $725 in court fees.
$725 in court fees.
Florida restaurant thief avoids jail.
Florida
because
restaurant
he's
thief.
obese. This next Florida
Obesity.
man story is admittedly one of the more humorous on the list, and that's saying a lot because there's some pretty funny shit in this compilation. It's the tale of a Florida criminal that was so morbidly obese that he literally could not be placed in prison. In 2007, a 600-pound man
It's a good
named
excuse.
George Olikar of Sanford, Florida, was very fittingly arrested for scamming various restaurants and stores. George was said to have been peddling this scam as far back as 2005. George was notorious for ordering a bunch of food, eating like half of it or more than half of it, and then complaining about its quality in an attempt to get refunds. This gluttonous con man once reportedly downed 6 milkshakes from a restaurant, and then when it was time to pay, he claimed his last shake had an error in it and refused to pay the tab. 6 milkshakes, bro. Jesus. This portly gentleman's fast food scamming antics would eventually catch up to him, though, as Big George would finally be arrested after he reportedly consumed close to $50 of 7-Eleven beef jerky and attempted to trick the staff members of the gas station into giving him a refund under the premise of one of the bags having moldy beef in it. His deceptive trick failed, and police were actually notified over this event. After being tipped off about this scammer, cops later made their way to George's home and arrested him for his alleged scam attempt. The police report from the incident indicates that when cops were arresting George, the man, quote, raised the pitch of his voice to sound like
How
a
many
woman.
shots do I have
George
to
thought
put
if
in
he made the
here?
high-pitched voice, the cops would like go easy on him, thinking he was a girl or something. Regardless, this pitch shift did little to deter law enforcement, as George would be arrested and booked. While in police custody on the way to the police station, the 38-year-old man reportedly muttered in front of police officers, quote, "The beef jerky got me." As a result of his activities, George was charged with 5 counts of felony petty theft. After being charged, it was thought that George would then be sent to jail
What?
and begin trial.
Come on!
In the months after
What
he
was that? She did
George
not
came
one-shot
down with
me
a
in the
serious
face.
unspecified
She doesn't
illness
have that
and
kind of
became
power.
bedridden as a
What?
result
Oh,
of it.
come on.
George's illness was so severe that rather than being jailed, he was confined by his sickness to a hospital bed, and at one point even had to be put on a life-saving respirator treatment. Once stabilized, he was sent to a nursing facility to recover. In light of this sickness, one thing was becoming clear to prosecutors who were trying to punish George. Even if they got George in jail, due to his obesity and health problems, he likely wouldn't survive in prison. George's immense weight put him at serious risk for morbidity. And not only that, if they were to take George to trial, the state would have to pay for the bedridden man's transportation to court sessions and potential medical bills associated with health problems related to travel. So to avoid this hassle, George was given a no-contest plea deal, which an attorney accepted on his behalf. With this plea deal, George would have to pay $1,365 in court costs and an unstated amount of restitution. George would also plead no contest to 5 counts of misdemeanor petty theft. And due to this bizarre
misdemeanor
situation
petty
surrounding
theft.
his weight and health, George, as far as I'm aware, never spent a day in prison. Next up, Florida man attacks a minion. Over the years, Illumination's minion characters have become, at least by some people, some of the most loathed mascots in animation, with many folks expressing their contempt for the obnoxious creatures and the movies that they're in online. Well, one Florida man hated minions so much that he would go on to violently assault one. On the evening of July 8th of 2018 in Daytona Beach, Florida, 26-year-old Ryan Nehart from Omaha, Florida, randomly attacked a man wearing a minion costume in front of a gift shop. The victim wearing the minion suit was 41-year-old Jamie Roam, a partially blind and mentally disabled man who was completely defenseless throughout the attack. Ryan body slammed and kicked Roam in the groin repeatedly as 2 of his friends watched and cheered him on during the attack. One of these friends was filming the assault for Ryan's social media. The altercation was also caught on the store's security cameras. While Ryan was beating Roam, the disabled man pleaded with him to stop, but the minion's pleas fell on deaf ears. Ryan continued to hit the minion until he was eventually subdued by the shop owner and a good Samaritan who was witnessing the violent ordeal. Finally, police would arrive on the scene and put an end to the altercation for good. After first responders arrived, Roam refused medical treatment as he apparently only had some bruises, but he allowed the police to take pictures of his injuries. In police body cam footage from the incident, Ryan can be seen telling the officer that he's a social media influencer and that Roam provided him with explicit permission to film the occurrence for Instagram. So Ryan was essentially claiming that this was a staged prank. Ryan said, quote, "I'm an Instagram star. I'm literally doing a prank.
No,
I'm an
you are.
Instagram stuntman." He also
No,
said,
you
quote,
aren't.
"I was just kidding, bro. Me and the minion talked it out." Turns out, though, Mr. Rowan was not in on the prank, and Ryan, well, he wasn't really even an Instagram star, apparently only having 1,875 followers at the time on his account. And according to Daily Mail, Ryan had a YouTube channel that had a whopping 48 subscribers. According to reports, Rowan told police that he didn't want to wrestle with Ryan after the assailant asked him to participate in a fight. And I guess Ryan just went through with it anyway. Ryan was initially arrested and charged with misdemeanor battery and criminal mischief, but was promptly released. After posting bail, Ryan reportedly posted an apology video to social media, although this video has since been deleted.
I would have never did this. Maybe I was gonna hurt anybody. I did it for the love of you. How was I supposed to know? I thought I had the minion's consent.
Several months later, Ryan would plead no contest to the charges issued against him. And as a result of this, he was sentenced to 10 days in jail and a year of probation. The terms of his sentencing also required him to avoid drinking alcohol and to enroll in a moral recognition therapy course. And lastly, the judge ordered him to pay $280 in damages to Rowan, and he was also made to pay for the damages caused to the minion lawsuit. Next up, Florida man gropes a woman during a palm reading session. How low can a Florida man stoop to satisfy their sexual urges? This Florida degenerate knows no bounds, apparently. On May 19th of 2014, 52-year-old Zulfikar Jaffer of Sanford, Florida, was arrested and charged with 2 counts of battery for allegedly groping a woman's breast while pretending to be a palm reader at a Walmart. Police received a call from a woman who claimed that Jaffer read her palm at the store and then followed her into the parking lot and offered her another special reading. She reportedly accepted his offer and got into the backseat of his car for this special procedure. According to the report, Jaffer then told her that he needed to feel her heart and proceeded to put his hand under her blouse. And it was at this moment that the man reportedly grabbed her breast. And apparently this wasn't the man's first rodeo, as there was a report from this Walmart stating that he had done something similar days prior. The police report from this incident also details other disturbing activities allegedly perpetrated by Jaffer. One report states that after a mom strapped her daughter into her car, Jaffer came up to her in the parking lot and said that he wanted to read her palm. The man told her that he could tell that she was pregnant and wanted to feel the baby's heartbeat. Once this woman denies the man's request, he reportedly groped her breast and fled the scene. Because of these alleged breast groping incidents, Jaffer was eventually arrested. And after his arrest, even more women came out making allegations against him for these parking lot breast grabbings. Following his arrest, 2 additional victims came out against Jaffer and stated that he also assaulted them as well. And I'm unable to determine the outcome of his charges. Whatever the case, it goes without saying, when you're in Florida, be weary of a Walmart palm reader. Florida man illegally mounts a manatee. Along with its sunny and sandy beaches, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, Florida is also famous for its aquatic wildlife. Much of this precious wildlife is protected by the state government, and messing with said protected animals comes with serious consequences. Consequences that our next Florida man would have to face after he attempted to ride a wild manatee. On September 16th of 2016, 47-year-old James Roy Massengale jumped into a manatee-inhabited body of water in Alvarado, Florida. As Roy swam around the protected waterway, he would go on to touch 2 adult manatees and their babies. Witnesses who had seen Roy jump into the water yelled out to the man, informing him that what he was doing was illegal. In response, Roy continued to fondle the manatees and even allegedly yelled out, "I'm riding."
What's up,
Wildlife
guys?
conservation officers were notified
Hey.
about the manatee mounting and later found Roy, quote, reaching
How's it
for,
going?
touching, and lying on
Amazing.
top of manatees in the creek. The officers informed
Nice.
him that what he was doing was against the law. And it was at this point that Roy became verbally aggressive with them, repeatedly saying, "Take me to jail."
I'ma throw my
Roy
balls
continued
in
to
their
harass
face.
the manatees for a short time until wildlife officers pulled him out of the creek and arrested him. For his manatee misconduct, Roy was charged with annoying, molesting, harassing, or disturbing a manatee. Next up,
Oh,
Florida
good.
man caught
Disturbing a
violating
manatee.
Siberian husky while wearing a dog costume. While most furries out there are simply fun seekers with a love for animal alter egos, there have been a small handful of bizarre crimes committed by members of the furry fandom. And when it comes to furry criminals, the ones from Florida are built different. Which brings us to the disturbing case of Mr. Nichols. On February 11th of 2019, 21-year-old Christian Stewart Oscar Nichols of Oldsmar, Florida, was arrested after allegedly filming himself sexually violating his Siberian husky while wearing a dog costume. It all started on January 25th when an individual from out of state reached out to the Pinellas County, Florida Animal Services Department to inform them of a repulsive video and image that they had discovered online. That video being the aforementioned bestiality content, and local authorities had been tipped off to it. After reviewing the photos and videos of concern, detectives claimed that Nichols could be seen in the content wearing a black and white husky costume while performing sex acts to the animal. They also commented that the dog seemed to have been in significant distress during the video's recording, adding that the animal tried running away from Nichols at one point, which allegedly resulted in the furry freak hitting it with a sex toy and then continuing his monstrous assault. These investigators eventually connected this content to Mr. Nichols and worked on tracking him down so they could go in for an arrest. When confronted by police investigators, Mr. Nichols came clean. He reportedly admitted that he was the twisted mastermind behind the gut-wrenching material containing his dog named Ember. He was arrested and charged with 1 count of aggravated animal cruelty. The man was also charged with an additional 10 counts of possession of obscene materials after more unrelated zoophilic videos were allegedly found in his bedroom. Thankfully, the dogs that were in Mr. Nichols' possession, including Ember, were taken away from him, and one can only hope that they found new homes where they weren't abused. Florida man attempts to sell a downed electric pole. And what might be one of the most bad-shit hillbilly redneck Florida men stories in this compendium, it's the tale of Douglas Allen Hadley, a Florida scrap metal piece with some serious money-making ambition. On November 16th of 2020, 71-year-old Douglas Allen Hadley of Lakeland, Florida, noticed a downed utility pole on the side of the interstate. No stranger to selling scrap metal for money, the guy got an idea. He thought that he might be able to strap this thing up to his car and sell it for money. So this man goes on to tie this giant pole to the top of his 1997 Toyota Camry. Hadley felt as if he had just come up on a small fortune, but his plans would be thwarted after the scrapyard turned him down. Seeing this pole and feeling as if it was probably government property, the scrapyard was requesting special documentation for Mr. Hadley to sell this thing, and that was stuff that he didn't have. And feeling as if it was stolen, they reported it. I mean, could it not be any more obvious? It's strapped to a fucking 97 Camry. Hadley also got reported after a witness saw him strapping the pole to his car's roof and called the Tampa Bay Regional Communications Center. This witness then followed Hadley's car from a distance and provided details on his location. Shortly after, a highway patrolman pulled him over and confiscated the pole and car.
There was no criminal intent whatsoever. Totally
when you take a flagpole off the interstate that doesn't belong to you, that's what...
I had no idea it was wrong.
Does that belong to you?
No, but you knew the person left.
In light of being busted for stealing this utility pole, Mr. Hadley was arrested and charged with grand theft. His bond was set at $2,000. Unsurprisingly, this wasn't the man's first rodeo with Florida law enforcement. At the time of the incident, Hadley had been arrested 48 times prior. These arrests starting as far back as 1971, with the man being arrested for crimes ranging from burglary, grand theft, and probation violations. Hell, 2 of these arrests were actually quite similar to the specific crime he was in trouble for now, stealing government property. While it's not exactly known what kind of time Hadley got for stealing this utility pole, it goes without saying that this is probably one of the lower IQ Florida criminals on the list. Florida man attempts to steal a chainsaw by shoving it down his pants. Florida criminals are different from those in other states, especially when it comes to just the brazenness of their activity. It's like they have no limiter. It's almost as if the scorching temperatures and swamp-like humidity just give them superpowers or something. Yeah, for example, like Florida shoplifters, they don't steal bags of chips, they steal fucking chainsaws. Which brings us to the topic of our next story, the Treasure Coast lawn care incident. On October 28th of 2014, 28-year-old Anthony Ballard of Port St. Lucie went to the Treasure Coast lawn equipment store and asked the cashier if they could make change for $1. However, this was nothing more than a ploy to steal. While the employee was distracted, Ballard allegedly grabbed a $600 chainsaw nearby and shoved it down his shorts. He then covered it up with his shirt and left the premises. So he had the chainsaw stuffed down his pants, he covered it up a bit with his shirt, got change for the $1, and left thinking that nobody had saw him. However, this chainsaw bandit wasn't as sneaky as he thought he was, as some store workers had noticed the fleet-footed Floridian running off with the chainsaw in his shorts and they followed him. While being pursued, Ballard realized the chainsaw was quite the running impediment, so he has the idea of yanking it out of his pants and throwing it into like a hidden area of the woods that he could return to later. He hoped to escape and return to the location in the future, and it didn't seem like when he was being followed that anyone saw him throw the chainsaw, so he certainly thought that like in the future I can come back and pick this thing up and everything will be fine. Ballard would manage to escape the initial chase by store employees and would indeed return to the location that he threw the chainsaw approximately 40 minutes later. But if you couldn't tell already, Ballard isn't the sharpest tool in the shed. The store employees actually did see where he threw the chainsaw, and once they saw Ballard come back to look for it, they called the police. Cops would arrive, and in short time, they arrested the chainsaw swindler, charging him with grand theft. He was also booked at the St. Lucie County Jail, and his bond was set at $18,750. The chainsaw swindler was an idiot, but what about the Florida man who butt-dialed the cops and revealed a murder plot? Now, we've all butt-dialed someone before, you know, called somebody on accident. Hell, I'm sure some of you have been talking shit about someone you shouldn't be talking about, and you start getting suspicious thinking that your phone has accidentally called them. Well, how about the guy who accidentally called the police while discussing who he wanted killed? On May 5th of 2013, 24-year-old Scott Simon of Pompano Beach, Florida, and unwittingly recorded himself detailing his intentions to murder a man named Nicholas Walker. Initially, 911 dispatch and police thought the call to be nothing more than a joke or some sort of prank. That was until later in the day, 33-year-old Florida man Nicholas Walker was found dead in his vehicle, which had crashed into a guardrail on the interstate. Upon searching the crash site, it was discovered that Nicholas Walker had actually been shot. The man was dead and had been shot multiple times, in fact. Now, naturally, considering these circumstances, it became clear to authorities that this butt dial was no joke or prank and was actually some criminal out there who had inadvertently or unknowingly confessed to a murder plot. This investigation eventually led them to the man who made the phone call, 24-year-old Scott Simon, as mentioned earlier. Furthermore, this investigation revealed that Simon was a ringleader of sorts and had two accomplices that helped him with Walker's murder. These two accomplices were 27-year-old Ronald Desinor and 25-year-old Michael Dupree. And it turns out Walker was apparently killed as a feud that all began in Waffle House. Some of this feud was reportedly caught on surveillance video. After this Waffle House altercation, Simon's men conspired to kill Walker and concocted a plan to follow him as he left the Waffle House establishment. Ronald Desinor was the man responsible for the inevitable shooting of Walker, and Michael Dupree served as a getaway driver. Simon's involvement was coming up with the plan itself. All three individuals were jailed without bond. 2 years later, on August 14th of 2015, the three Florida men were sentenced to serve
what?
life in prison.
Come on! There's four guys there! I came late! I'm the one who dies! He's fighting the tank and then boom, I'm dead. Come on, man.
Florida man collects
and they threw the
tons
smash,
of
they threw it.
CP. As with any other state in the U.S., there are many instances of criminals getting busted for CP in Florida. But it seems like in the Sunshine State, the cases are just almost unimaginably bad. such as the instance of the man who literally had tons of CP, as in the amount of printed material literally weighed a ton. On February 23rd of 2023, 72-year-old Paul
What?
Siddle of Marion County, Florida, was arrested after federal agents discovered thousands of pounds of CP at his home, printed versions of this material. As a result of the sick and bizarre discovery, the man was charged with 25 counts of possession of CP. 1 month before his arrest, Detective Chase King of the Marion County Sheriff's Office received a tip that CP files had been uploaded online. Upon further investigation, it was revealed that the IP address associated with these disturbing files belonged to Ziddle. The police were then given a search warrant to raid his home. During the search, detectives uncovered a seemingly limitless amount of disgusting CP photos. There were other people living with Paul at the time, and they explained to police that Paul Ziddle would never allow them to go into his bedroom or office without him being with them. Investigators estimate that there were over 220,000 print images in Ziddle's possession, a collection that weighed over 2,600 pounds.
Please, I can move! Couldn't do anything at all.
Collection weighed the same as a Ford Fiesta sedan. Paul's criminal pictures were allegedly stored in large stacks and boxes all over the creep's bedroom and office. After Paul was arrested, he was taken to Marion County Jail and held on a $250,000 bond. He's currently awaiting trial, which is set to take place in October of 2023. What really has to be said? If there was a guy that was going to have literal tons of CP, I think this is what he would look like. Let's be real. Coming up, we've got the Florida man that got a DUI on a Walmart motor scooter. Drinking and driving is absolutely terrible. Not only are you putting your own life in danger, you're potentially just killing innocent people. If you thought you could only get a DUI from behind the wheel of a car, boat, or motorcycle, think again. On July 24th, 2022, 39-year-old Aaron Gregory from Melbourne, Florida, was getting rowdy. The man had apparently had some drinks that night and decided to go visit Walmart. Mr. Gregory got a motorized scooter card, and it said that he had an open beverage and was just driving recklessly around the Walmart at about 5 to 6 miles an hour, just cruising through, running into shelves, and almost hitting people. He was just a madman on the loose, I guess. What's important to note, though, is that mobility scooters are considered to be motor vehicles in the state of Florida, so he was committing a crime while doing this. Seeing this belligerent motorist wreaking havoc in their store, Walmart called the cops. When the cops arrived at Walmart, they found that Gregory had an open bottle of Smirnoff liquor as he was riding around. They noted that the man had consumed 2/3 of the bottle by this point in time. Police also noted that Gregory had, quote, glassy eyes, smelled like alcohol, and refused to take a breathalyzer test. By this point in time, having consumed, almost an entire bottle of Smirnoff, Gregory was pretty fucked up. When the police attempted to speak with the man and obtain his ID, they noted that he became, quote, unresponsive and couldn't answer any of their questions.
Is this your charger? Yeah? Alright. What?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. No? Is that your backpack? Backpack? Is that your backpack?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, is that your bottle of vodka? Is that yours? Is that yours? Came out of your backpack. What's your back?
And Gregory wasn't playing up his drunkenness either, as the man's level of intoxication was so high that police had to call medical and escort him out of the store on a stretcher.
Let's go. Come on, spin around. Alright.
Give me your other hand. No, stay there for a second.
You guys sit down later with Justin. Anything else? Get one more. There you go. I know there was more at Palm Bay. Palm Bay sucks.
Alright, all the way in.
Later on at the police police department, the man was barely able to stand up and continued to decline any field sobriety test.
Do you wish to do some field sobriety tests? I'm sorry, I can't hear you. Are you willing to provide a breath test for me? Will you blow into the machine? Are you willing to provide a breath test?
Once arrested, he was taken to the Brevard County Jail on a $3,000 bond. 2 months later, Gregory pled no contest to the disorderly intoxication and open container charges. Judge would find Gregory guilty on both misdemeanors and sentenced him to 2 months in jail and instructed him to pay $522 in court costs and fines. Lastly, Gregory was prohibited from going back to that Walmart for 6 months. Next up, we have the Florida man who allegedly groped Little Mermaid. Florida's Disney World amusement park and resort is a world-famous place of magic and wonder. Sadly, it can also be a place of sexual assault and harassment as well. On November 2nd of 2019, 51-year-old Brian Sherman was at Disney's Magic Kingdom with his wife when they visited Ariel's grotto. At the grotto, they asked for a photo with a worker who was dressed as Ariel the Little Mermaid. The woman playing Ariel sat in between Sherman and his wife, and this is where things started to get creepy. It's said that Sherman was very excited and told Ariel that she was his favorite Disney princess. He also told Ariel during the photo shoot that he loved her and proceeded to put his arm around the girl, even going as far as allegedly groping the mermaid's breast. During the time of the photo being taken, a Disney co-worker, recognizing the inappropriate touching, attempted to instruct the handsy patron to assume a different pose, perhaps one that didn't involve him touching the poor employee's breast. But this was a fruitless effort. The man wouldn't move his arm. It's important to mention that the victim, the woman playing Ariel in this case, was essentially restrained during this entire alleged assault. As the nature of the chair in Ariel's grotto and the Ariel costume itself, it limited the actor's mobility to a great degree. Also note in this photo that Ariel was essentially pinned in the grotto seat between Brian and his wife. The woman's limited ability to escape this situation makes Brian's alleged assault that much more disturbing. Once the alleged groper was satisfied, Sherman and his wife left the grotto, at which point the victim of his alleged assault started shaking and crying. Around this time, police arrived at the scene, and the woman in the Ariel costume told the cops that she wanted to press charges against the grotto assailant and that she would like to testify in court. The grotto was shut down following this incident. Ironically, the pictures that were taken of the three were used as evidence to arrest Sherman. Several hours after these photos were taken, the man was arrested for battery and was taken to the Orange County Jail. He would be bonded out after $500 was posted. This wasn't the first time of Sherman being accused of committing a sexual crime. Back in 1999, Sherman was found guilty of, quote, sexual battery of a victim younger than 12. Though, unfortunately, for the alleged victim in this Ariel's grotto incident, there would never be a conclusion to these charges, as about a month after the grotto incident, the charges levied against Sherman were dropped. The reasons for these charges being dropped, I'm not too certain of. Whatever the case, hopefully the girl in this situation that played Ariel wasn't like traumatized from this event, but yeah, that was the Ariel's grotto incident.
Of course it was.
And here we have the Florida man who was released from jail only to be rearrested after attempting to steal from cars in the parking lot. Like, just how? Like, how can you be this dumb? On April 4th of 2019, 37-year-old Michael Casey Lewis of Stuart, Florida, was released from the St. Lucie County Jail after he had been arrested for grand theft. And within 15 minutes of being out, he would reoffend. After being released from jail, Michael Casey meandered around the parking lot, and police say they saw him, quote, acting suspicious and checking vehicle doors. Lewis was also acting belligerent, yelling about how he wanted some cigarettes. When the freshly released man was confronted in the parking lot by police, Lewis stated that he was waiting for his girlfriend to arrive. However, what he had actually been doing was stealing from unlocked cars. Police claim that Mr. Lewis allegedly stole a debit card, 4 packs of cigarettes, an iPhone 7, a Florida driver's license, a lighter, and $547 from a car that was parked in the jail lot. Upon this discovery, Lewis was then rearrested and placed back into the same jail that he had left minutes prior. He was charged with grand theft, burglary, and possession of stolen property. Later in the day, he would be bonded out. And this time, he managed to get out of the parking lot without stealing anything or being rearrested. So good on you, Mr. Lewis. Congrats. Florida man looks for daddy's little girl on Craigslist. Disturbing Craigslist postings have led to the apprehension of many criminals over the years. A lot of them have been from Florida. On March 18th of 2018, Warren Arthur Seckler of Boca Raton, Florida, was desperately looking for what he called daddy's little girl. The man was so desperate for such a companion that he put up an ad on Craigslist to find one that fit the bill. The post stated that Seckler was a 62-year-old, quote, gentleman who was looking for a young girl. What exactly did he mean by this? Or what age girl was he looking for? Well, that would become clear after an undercover police officer would respond to it. Finding the post extremely suspicious, police would reply to his thread and ask if he was interested in a girl under the age of 18. Did you say younger than 18? No, that would be illegal. 18 and older only. However, about an hour later, Seckler would return to his inbox and reply, okay, so I might be interested. I'm always looking. Tell me about it. The undercover detective then told Seckler that they had a daughter that was 14 years old, skinny, blonde, with blue eyes. So this detective is like posing as someone who is simply offering their fake daughter to Mr. Seckler. It's been alleged that Seckler followed up this message the next day and asked the undercover investigator if the daughter would like to be spanked, among other sexual acts. And later, Mr. Seckler would send his phone number to the undercover operative under the premise of him getting a photo of the daughter. At this time, the creep also sent the detective a photo of himself holding his granddaughter. Throughout their conversation, Seckler also sent 3 photos of his house to show the officers that it was a safe place for the 14-year-old. The man even showcased his bedroom. The man also revealed how he planned to treat the 14-year-old very well. The detective says, quote, the suspect then stated he bought my daughter's stuffed animals and was going to give her one each visit, hoping she would return. He then offered to pay for dinner and gas before we drove to his residence. It was becoming clear at this point that they were dealing with a bona fide pedophile, and Seckler had been discovered also sending messages to other minors around this time as well. Feeling as if they had enough evidence, police would work to set up a sting. Undercover detectives would set up an appointment to meet Mr. Seckler, with the man believing he was about to link up with the horse. This meetup was to take place at a Delray Beach McDonald's on March 28th, and Seckler would take the bait. At this McDonald's, Seckler would finally realize that there was no 14-year-old to be met. Instead, he was met with law enforcement who promptly arrested him. Seckler was charged with online solicitation of a minor, traveling to meet a minor, and unlawful use of a two-way communications device. He admitted that he had posted the Craigslist ad and made plans to meet with the fake mom and the fake daughter. Quote, Warren confessed to picking up a teddy bear and candy for the 14-year-old daughter. Seckler was booked into the Palm County Jail and held on a $53,000 bond. According to reports, the man is currently serving a court-ordered term of community monitoring under the authority of the Department of Corrections and the Florida Parole Commission. Next up, a mischievous Florida teenager who tricked his classmates into thinking that there was a school-wide penis inspection occurring. Let's just say that schools in Florida have some strange graduation requirements. In May of 2019, an unidentified student at LaBelle High School in Florida managed to hack his way into the school's computer system and send out a mass email regarding a, quote, mandatory penis inspection. This email was said to have been sent to every student, faculty, and staff member working at the school. The email said, quote, the district is required to conduct a mandatory penis inspection on all male LaBelle High School students in accordance with the Florida Penal Health Code 69. players who do not pass the inspection will not be allowed to graduate. The email also mentions, quote, female students are to disregard the message. It's been reported that several seniors immediately went to the principal's office and asked where the inspections would be performed. That did not happen. However, what's not made up is the fact that this email was actually sent. In response to it, the dean of students would send an apology to parents regarding it, and the individual student that sent it out is still unknown. Whatever the case, you gotta admit, this is very much so a Florida version of the senior prank. To begin our next story, let's just say some Florida men are believers of non-traditional religions. The Florida man featured in this next story took some shrooms and performed a bizarre ritual that landed him in prison. And now we have the case of the Florida man who was arrested for performing a nude ritual. On June 22nd of 2018, a man in Cape Coral, Florida, was spotted dancing completely naked while covered in blood around a fire. The naked, bloodied man was said to have been chanting gibberish and dancing around like a complete maniac. After a bystander had witnessed the bizarre spectacle, they called police. Shortly after, police officers would arrive at the scene and identified the nude ritualist as local man, 27-year-old John Hennessy. In the time between police being called and arriving, it's been alleged that John brandished a knife and even attempted to break into someone's house while he's essentially like the greased-up deaf guy from Family Guy, but instead it's blood. When police eventually confronted John, he's alleged to have grabbed a large wooden stick and attempted to bat them with it. However, this alleged assault apparently failed as the police tased the shit out of him. John continued to erratically yell out chants and gibberish while he was being tased, almost as if he was praying to some sort of Florida god to intervene or some shit. After John was detained, he was sent to a local hospital, where he was treated for burns that he had suffered during his fire dancing ritual. Police initially suspected that the man had taken a hallucinogenic drug, but statements from his sister after the arrest would indicate that the guy had a long history with mental health problems and drug abuse. She would claim that John's behavior had been spiraling out of control after he had left a rehab facility. Quote, I love him and I wish he'd get help. He needs to realize he needs medication. He needs something. John was charged with 1 count of criminal mischief, 2 counts of aggravated assault, and 4 counts of aggravated assault on law enforcement. The nude Florida ritualist was found guilty on all charges. Next, we have the Florida man who stripped naked at Chick-fil-A and instructed people to look at his penis. The story begins back in September of 2018, when a Florida woman answered a phone call from her romantic partner. This frenzied caller would inform the woman that he was being chased while riding his bicycle near a Chick-fil-A in Palm Coast, Florida. The woman who was nearby at the time went to the Chick-fil-A location to see what was going on with her boyfriend. And what she found was a belligerent 30-year-old named Corey Michael Hatzel. This apparently deranged lunatic was attempting to fight the bike-riding boyfriend in the restaurant's parking lot, the man apparently experiencing some sort of psychosis delusion. During his mania, Corey allegedly removed his clothes and started yelling at people in the Chick-fil-A parking lot, instructing them to look at his penis. He reportedly told the lady's bike-riding boyfriend, quote, "You're gay for looking at my penis." Given this bizarre situation, the woman would dial 911. When authorities arrived at the scene, they detained Hatzel. Hatzel would refuse to give them his name initially, and police suspected that he was on drugs after noting that he had dried blood under his nose. One officer described his experience on the scene in the police report, stating, quote, "I observed multiple vehicles drive by while the man was nude and yelling, 'Look at my penis.' As a result of this nude freakout, Mr. Hatzel would be arrested. The couple that was the main target of Mr. Hatzel's nude showcase refused to press charges for indecent exposure. It was found that Hatzel had somewhat of a criminal history, the man previously being arrested for a DUI in 2017 and possession of cannabis in 2016. As a result of flashing his penis at Chick-fil-A, the man was booked into the Flagler County Sheriff's Office jail and held on a $1,000 bond. Florida prisoners save a baby in a locked car. What happens when a group of hardened, convicted criminals work together? Well, in the state of Florida, people's lives get saved. On February 14th of 2019, a group of inmates in Newport Richey, Florida, came to the rescue of a 1-year-old girl who was accidentally locked in a car. It all began when the girl's dad was strapping her into the car seat in the back of his vehicle. And apparently not thinking at the time, the man threw his keys on the front seat and closed his daughter's door, and I guess planned to go around and get in. But when he did this, he threw the key, closed the door, and the entire car locked, and he had just locked his keys inside, like a freaking idiot. After the parents of this child realized that the door was locked, they immediately called police to the scene. But it wouldn't be the cops that saved this kid, as a group of prisoners were on work detail in the nearby area, rushing to the scene of these panicked parents in their vehicle and offering the family help in the matter. These guys were willing to help, and I gotta be honest with you, I feel like some convicted criminals are probably the best people you could have if you needed to break into your own car. The motley crew of prisoners, under correctional officer supervision, were thankfully able to pry the front door open and created a passage large enough for one of the men to use a clothes hanger and unlock the SUV's doors from the inside.
We'll have to get some wire and just hold the shut while we drive until we get a new car.
And in about 2 minutes flat, they managed to open the car and rescue the child. The little girl's mother was recording the rescue operation and could be heard saying, "Thank God for the criminals in the world. I respect all y'all." The county sheriff would go on to comment on this bizarre rescue facilitated by convicted criminals. Quote, "There's only a very small percentage of those criminals out there that want to fight us and want to attack us. But a lot of them, like these individuals, they know they made bad mistakes, bad choices, but they want to do the right thing in life." Florida man gets arrested after changing his Facebook profile picture to his wanted poster. When
Oh
you're wanted
no!
by police, the last thing you want to do is give them any sort of clue regarding your whereabouts or activity on social media. Well, this at-large criminal from Florida must have missed the memo about staying away from social media when you're on the run. The story all begins on the night of August 29th of 2016 when police were called to a home after reports of alleged battery taking place. However, once officers arrived, the perpetrator of said battery was nowhere to be found and had apparently fled the scene. The victim of the alleged battery identified the suspect as Seward, Florida resident Mac Yearwood. And as authorities began to dig into Yearwood's criminal history using their databases, they were surprised to find that the man already had 2 warrants out for his arrest. So wanting to find this guy, they dug even deeper, looking into Mac Yearwood's social media accounts. And this is when they realized the extent of Mr. Yearwood's stupidity, as upon checking his Facebook account, police found that in the time following his alleged battery, Mr. Yearwood had changed his Facebook profile picture to a mugshot of himself related to a prior battery incident. Yeah, so it appeared like Mac Yearwood, he knew he was on the run and he was bragging to police that he was, pretty good at getting away with battery, I guess. Goes without saying it's pretty stupid to tease police in this way, and family members of the man urged him to remove the wanted picture as his profile image. "This isn't real, is it, Uncle Mac?" Another family member replied, quote, "I wish you would take it down too. The cops use Facebook now." He should have listened to his family because Yearwood's braggadocious Facebook activity, well, it was like an open book for police to monitor and watch his movements. And thanks to his own postings, police were eventually able to discover that Mr. Yearwood was residing at his brother's house. After making this discovery, police then traveled to his brother's property and arrested Mac Yearwood on the spot. The particular charges and outcome of this arrest are unknown. But needless to say, if you're ever wanted by the police, log the fuck off of social media, please. Next up, the genius Florida man who locked his keys in his car to prevent a police search. So when you're pulled over and you're riding dirty, how do you stop the cops from finding your stash? Well, this 4D chest playing Florida man thought he had solved the conundrum. On Christmas Eve of 2018, 40-year-old Charles Albert Garcia was pulled over by police for going 70 miles an hour on a 40 miles an hour road in Monroe County, Florida. After stopping him, police reprimanded him for speeding and requested to search his vehicle under the suspicion of him being in possession of narcotics. Garcia did in fact have drugs in his vehicle and was about to get busted. But that's when he comes up with an idea, a tactic that Mr. Garcia hoped would keep him out of jail. When asked to step out of his vehicle by police, Mr. Garcia would oblige the request. However, when doing so, he intentionally locked the keys inside of his vehicle before closing the door. So not only could he get back into his car, police couldn't open the car either. It was unsearchable. He had cracked the code. Well, unfortunately, this wasn't the genius plan that Mr. Garcia thought it was. While certainly police were temporarily inconvenienced by this decision made by Mr. Garcia, they wouldn't be stopped from searching it in the long run. As for Charles's half-baked master plan would come crashing down when a towing company arrived to the scene of the alleged crime and unlocked his car using a special tool, which then allowed officers to dig through it. And inside of the car, they allegedly found a menagerie of drugs, including cocaine, meth, pills, heroin, and marijuana. Upon the discovery of the narcotics, Mr. Garcia told the deputies that the car was his father's and that he had no idea that drugs were inside. For a short time, police would entertain his story. While listening to Mr. Garcia's ruse, it was discovered that he had a suspended driver's license. When he was asked about this suspended license, Garcia said that it would soon be reinstated, which was a partial lie. Mr. Garcia's license was indeed suspended, but it had been suspended since April of 2012. As a result of this incident, Mr. Garcia faced several felony charges for drugs and driving with a suspended license. Additionally, he faced misdemeanor charges for cannabis possession and obstruction of justice. He spent his Christmas behind bars and was bonded out the following day. As far as his charges went in court, I'm unable to ascertain this information. In what might be one of the most Florida man stories of all time, this next case involves a man trying to recreate Back to the Future's DeLorean scene and failing miserably. On December 20th of 2015, an unnamed 40-year-old Pensacola man drove his Dodge Challenger into a strip mall, destroying a tax service office and a coffin retailer. According to the man, he did this because he was, quote, trying to travel through time. The police report regarding this incident states that the man was driving at high speeds on the interstate in an attempt to enter a time portal, and the only reason that he crashed is because the portal didn't open fast enough. These people are crazy. In the process of failing his time travel, the man totaled his car and wreaked havoc on the mall. But thankfully, the driver was uninjured, and the businesses were closed as it was Sunday, so no one was hurt or killed. The man was taken to the hospital for an evaluation, and as punishment, he was given a citation for reckless driving. And how could we forget the story of the armless Florida man accused of stabbing a tourist? On July 10th of 2018, 46-year-old Jonathan Dale Crenshaw of South Beach, Florida, reportedly stabbed 22-year-old Caesar Coronado. However, this was no ordinary stabbing, as Crenshaw had no arms, and instead allegedly used his foot to stab Coronado with a pair of scissors. The altercation all began when Caesar Coronado apparently asked Mr. Crenshaw for directions. For some reason, this agitated the homeless man, and Crenshaw allegedly stabbed Coronado and left the scene. It's also said that Mr. Coronado was on vacation at the time, and literally the day that he got there, this happened, and he was sent to the hospital. A quote from the man says, "I'm not from here, and this is not what I came for. I came for a vacation. I just said, do you know where this is? But as soon as I talked, the only thing he reacted was, he just cut me." When authorities arrived at the scene of the alleged scissor-pointed attacker, they found Mr. Crenshaw near the location of the attack. Mr. Crenshaw had a different story, claiming that Mr. Coronado approached him while he was sleeping on the side of the street and punched him. Crenshaw claimed that he took the scissors out, put them in between his toes, and stabbed Coronado twice in self-defense. After an investigation of the crime scene, it seems as if police believed Caesar's story. As a result of this, the alleged foot-stabbing bandit was arrested and charged with aggravated battery. and the man was held on a $7,500 bond. However, curiously, after this case went to trial in November of 2021, Crenshaw was found not guilty by a jury. However, that being said, in recent years, Crenshaw has appeared in viral social media videos chasing individuals around with a pair of scissors in between his toes.
I'm scared of you. Do not fucking chase me. If you gonna drink your soda with the damn cup, you're chasing me, y'all. You're fucking chasing me.
While no other attacks have been recorded, it'll be interesting to see if the man winds up in trouble again.
Don't forget to give it to a crack addict. That's all we got on the street, crack addict.
Next up, Florida man with no hands or feet becomes a fugitive after killing his parents. At the age of 16, Sean Petrosino of Orlando, Florida became a quadruple amputee after a strong bout of bacterial meningitis. He lost his feet, hands, and parts of his limbs in the process of this illness. Despite this loss, Sean had a positive attitude and support from his local community. At the time of the tragedy, the young man receiving donations of wheelchair ramps, a voice command laptop, and a modified van to suit his newfound needs. But now, 14 years later, the man now 40 years old, the guy is wanted for killing the people that supported him the most, his adoptive parents. On November 4th of 2014, 64-year-old Nancy and 63-year-old Michael Petrosino's bodies were found at their home office by the police. Police had made this discovery while performing a wellness check. This wellness check was called after the school that Nancy had worked for 10 years became concerned as she wasn't showing up for work. It was then discovered that Sean Petrosino had recently moved back in with his family and he was considered a person of interest. Turns out that despite Sean essentially having a set of nubs for arms, he had managed to kill them. Both of Sean's parents had been shot to death with a high-powered rifle. There were several metal casings and bullet holes found on the scene, and Sean was responsible for this slaying. The office where the couple had been killed was covered entirely in blood. The police report states that Sean attempted to clean up the mess before leaving the premises. Upon making this horrifying discovery, authorities immediately began their search for Sean, who was on the run in his dad's red Toyota Camry, driving the vehicle despite his disability. According to friends and neighbors, Sean seemed terribly depressed around the time of these slayings and suspected a deteriorating mental state may have led to the killing. Friends say that Sean also visited a gun range around this time. The day following the killings, detectives published a surveillance photo of Sean at a Wells Fargo ATM. This image was passed along to the public, and authorities urged folks to be on the lookout for this alleged at-large killer. The man was considered armed and dangerous. However, police would eventually catch up to Sean. About a week later, on November 11th, a red Toyota Camry was pulled over in Memphis, Tennessee, after police noted the vehicle making an illegal U-turn. As cops were walking to the driver's window, they heard a muffled pop sound. Turns out, Sean was in this vehicle, and that pop sound was a gunshot that he used to end his own life. He had offed himself before the cops could catch him. In the wake of this brutal killing and Sean's death, his ex-wife Cynthia posted a tribute on Facebook to Sean. She wrote, "All we can do is remember the good times and move forward. He was my best friend and I will always love him. Unfortunately, in 2014, our problems grew and mistakes never went away. We separated because I thought we would be better off apart, and we had been unhappy for a while. Sean touched so many of our lives. There are so many stories and memories throughout the years. I would like everyone to share the stories, and together we can keep his memory alive." Cynthia's tribute seems to indicate that she feels that their separation is what resulted in Sean's deteriorating mental state. Whatever the case, this is one of the most bizarre tragedies to emerge out of Florida. And that was a tour through what I like to call our Florida Men's Hall of Fame. Let me know if you guys enjoyed the trip and if we should do another one in the future. I want to give a major shout out to my patrons. I appreciate you guys. Wavy Web Surf out. Peace.
I love getting Junkrat's existential nightmares. They're like, oh shit, wait, am I hated? Yeah, you're hated. You're the worst piece of shit in all of history of gaming. It's Junkrat. It's the worst piece of shit in all of history of gaming. You know, it is. It's just like the worst guy in Counter-Strike, or the worst guy in Siege, or the worst guy, you know. You're the worst douchebag in all of gaming. What do you mean you just woke up to that fact? Did it take you that long to do it? Did it take you that long to get where you understood that you're the douchebag? You're the douchebag. You're a Junkrat. If you play Junkrat, you're a douchebag. And you cause a lot of problems to many, many people. And you steal wins from, like, I'd say 9/10 of the people that you encounter.
I didn't even know that Monster Hunter Rise actually came out after Monster Hunter World, but it was only on the Switch apparently.
In every community that I've participated in, there's always a sizable division between the fans.
Yeah.
These divisions are caused, usually, by the developer. They will release a game in a series that is significantly different than the ones that came before.
This guy is talking about Dark Souls too. He makes a lot of Dark Souls videos.
Some fans will like the change, some fans will not like the change, and some will have mixed feelings. These fans will then congregate into different groups that champion different opinions of what the future of the
In your
series
tiny
could look
incel world, they do.
In the Monster Hunter community,
Or in the
it's
real
common.
world, they totally ignore what you say, and they don't listen. And in your tiny incel world, they might be really angry about sequels, but I like sequels. It means at least there's another story to be told. And, yeah, sorry, but we're going to move on. Oh, were you being negative? Yeah, you were. Thank you, No Clip, for the excellent content from stream. I'd like to sub to your channel.
I want to do another one, and I've spent 10 years doing Fallout games, so someone else can do that.
Goddamn right.
10 years thinking about
Yep.
nukes.
Nope,
and
nope,
live right
I'm
next to
good.
Washington,
Yep.
D.C. That's probably not healthy.
Yeah, that's not, nope. Nope,
This is
it's
Nate
probably not
Porcupine.
healthy.
You may remember him from our documentary on Bethesda Game Studios, or our pre-release feature on Fallout 7.
Oh, the Bethesda devs are so cute. I really want to smack them. With my penis.
76. More on that later. Well, partway through Starfield's development, Nate decided to leave the studio where he had helped create some of the most celebrated and commercially successful open world games of all time. From Fallout 3 to Skyrim and Fallout 4, Nate created many of those world's most iconic areas, and as art lead for Fallout 76, he is partly responsible for arguably the best part of that game at launch, its map. Nate was working on an earlier version of Starfield's Neon when he left the studio he'd called home for 14 years, and since then he's been documenting his new design adventure on both YouTube and TikTok. His new project is an open world hunting game, a combination of his love of heavy metal and a childhood raised in the woods of southern Oregon. The game is called The Axis Unseen, and remarkably, he's making it all by himself. So when I was back in my old stomping ground of Maryland for a wedding during the summer, I grabbed my camera and went to check in on Nate. Not just to see how he's doing post-Bethesda, but how the game was coming along, what it's like moving from the creation engine to Unreal, the pros and cons of being a solo indie dev, and just how bad the reception to Fallout 76 felt to those who'd been working on it.
So I'm working on The Axis Unseen, which is a heavy metal horror game where you hunt monsters from folklore. And I'm doing it all by myself now. Like, it is a heavy metal game, so I wanted to reflect that aesthetic and have something that was like really epic. There's like giant redwoods and huge skull sculpture. That mountain that you see is like literally 2 miles tall. But I also really wanted it to play well and not just look like, hey, here's Unreal 5 game number 5000. So that's why I chose to stylize it. And I actually have almost no textures in the game. Like, it's literally flat colors, but because it has that dynamic geometry, like, there's still a lot of detail there. Every little tiny piece of dirt. Oh my gosh. Shadows. Oh my god. Wild. That's the nanite stuff? Yeah. It's like, they call it virtual shadow maps, and basically what it does is, like, those are your shadows. It can be like a tiny also, weirdly enough, lets me make the game faster, which you wouldn't think. You'd be like, oh, it's like more detailed and stuff. But actually, normally when you're making a game, you have that really high detailed stuff. Then you have to do the low poly version and bake it out, unwrap your model, and do all these things to get the game version. But I can just make stuff, and I use this VR headset here to sculpt things, and I can, like this crazy sculpture that shows up in the game, I did that in like 40 minutes before dinner one day, and I just shove it straight into the game with all that detail. So that sounds great. Yeah, so this is the camper trailer. Sometimes go out on these camping trips and stuff, and I work out of this thing.
You were always an outdoor kid, like growing up in Southern Oregon?
I mean, I kind of had to be. I was also like the giant nerd, and they're like, get outside. I know. I'm like, yeah, I was like an Eagle Scout and everything, camping all the time. I don't even know. Sleeping in the snow, like quite literally, like digging snow shelters and stuff. Just dig a hole, basically. Yeah, man, I feel man. Rebuild the whole thing. When I was the art lead on 76 for the first like 6 months or so, I was just scheduling the art team and doling out the tasks. I know some people have a big problem when it comes to like getting tasks done on time, but I think that's like, I suppose, one of my dev superpowers is that I have a deadline. I will hit that deadline. And I think you kind of have to have that with like big more games like that. It's not how long will the task take, it's how much time do I have.
Right.
And you have to scale the work to fit that. Because those games you can spend forever on anything. You can always do more. That's also why I didn't crunch. Like, you're never gonna run out. You can't. It's like we could have worked on Skyrim for 20 years and like we'll still add more dungeons, more clutter, whatever. It's a world. You can add as much as you want to the world. Yeah, I mean that launch. I mean, not being around the bush, which was awesome. Like, it was feel like the villain of the internet, the most hated thing. So that definitely is like pretty tough for everyone on the team to deal with, but I was happy to see that it got pushed into the direction it needed to and had the support. And I think with the Wastelanders update especially, adding the NPCs, like most people who play it are like, yeah, I actually like it, you know? And it was always nice, frankly, to hear that people will be like, this game sucks, I hate it, but that's a cool map, really cool art, nailed it. Like, that's my job. We knew there were issues and stuff, but expecting that level of volume is another thing. I was one of those people who tried to argue to get NPCs and stuff, but I also wasn't like, this is the worst thing ever, you've like murdered a puppy kind of thing. Like, everyone was trying, so having people react that way is not great. But that's also part of one indie now also, because I can not 100% say, but pretty confidently say, no matter what I make, how bad it is, or great, I'm unlikely to piss off the internet as much as that ever again. That's pretty unlikely. At first glance, it's like open world game, solo indie, that's stupid. That's probably usually true. But it is, you know, like my 6th open world game, and I really know what goes into them. And the fact that it's like a hunting game actually really keeps that scope in control, because if you look at the number of assets you need to do for something like Fallout 4 with a dense urban environment and all these NPCs, like you're talking about orders of magnitude more stuff and systems complexity. Whereas a hunting game, it's really about having like this big open wilderness to explore. I mean, there are locations, but it's nothing like Boston. And it's hunting monsters. Like, you're not doing these elaborate quest lines, talking to NPCs, having followers. So that helps keep the scope controlled. So I really just need to do a big open landscape, which is done, a bunch of creatures, which is done, and then make some locations and populate out the world. I mean, there's all the systems and stuff too, but that was like the first thing that I did in my like very early prototype. Like, can I do this? Does this work? Am I gonna need a programmer? Because I was kind of worried about that. I'm probably gonna run into something like, oh, we're saving the game and I just can't do that. I'm gonna have to like hire a programmer, but I was like, man, Unreal is great. I thought it was gonna take me like 2 weeks maybe to do the save game system. It was like 2 days. It's just like, here's, save this and this and this, load it back up. I'm like, oh, well, that's way easier than I thought it was gonna be. I would say Unreal is a lot more open with how you do stuff. Like, even if I wanna do a tool in the editor, in the editor itself, I can make that. Like the same system that you use for doing like the gameplay logic with like the whole blueprint system, which is like a visual scripting system, you can use that to make tools. So everything is like very open and easy to expand upon. You build one thing, but then bring it into another to inherit it. And like all of my creatures are technically based off one master creature that then gets modified for all the 60 different versions. Whereas we didn't have shared properties for most things at Bethesda. So we'd be like, I want to make all the weapons like 10% more damage. Like, oh God, let me just enter all these numbers and make sure I don't mess it up by hand. Spend a lot of time pulling down these builds, seeing if it worked. Oh, nope, it doesn't. Let me roll back. That can take a lot of time. Yeah, I did it kind of like chronologically. So over here you got like Fallout 3, Skyrim, Fallout 4, Fallout 76. Don't really have Starfield merch. And then I laid out all the games that I shipped on that bottom row. And all these like random crystals for like Game of the Year award. I enjoyed Bethesda when it was like 65 people when I started, 110 or so on Skyrim. That was a pretty good number, but once it gets above that, you end up with all these like tiers of management